Afternoon, a little bit late on the throw, but we were just getting all set up, so we want to appreciate that for Sharif and Joe. Thank you so much for a great afternoon show. Adara is getting locked and loaded. We teased this a little bit a couple days ago. Maybe it was even last night, wasn't it? We're like, oh, what if
like Wednesday night?
What if Adara and I?
Yeah.
Adara and I. Yes. Are on the same program. We'll see what winds up happening, but we do have the review to go. Of course, we're going to give Joe a little bit of a break. I don't know. Yesterday I was like, yo, eat your lunch. And the guy's like, no, he didn't even do anything. So we'll see if he comes back. But welcome. We've never done anything like this, I don't think.
No, we haven't. I basically just volunteered and now I'm here.
Good.
So that's
Perfect.
the story of how
it's great to have you here. I'm sure everybody is excited. I don't think anyone's even come over yet. I mean, there's really nobody. Yeah, there we go. X Baines is in there. Says Neil looks different today.
He does.
Maybe a little more female.
Maybe a little bit not Neil.
Different skin colors.
There's a couple of different, distinctly different, as our pal Obi.
You don't look like Obi, Joe, or Neil.
Yeah.
And I think that's
or Randy, who was here yesterday.
Probably a good thing. Oh yes, that's right. We had Randy last time. Did you finish your chai latte over there?
I'm still sipping on the chai latte. Okay, it's been going well.
Good.
Sipping on that. I was going to say scissor, but it's not scissor, but it's just a chai latte.
Might as well be.
Good times watching these markets, doing some, getting ready for the market recap.
Yeah,
how are you doing? What trades
we're excited.
Are you doing
We're in. Oh, it doesn't show me in anything right now. Okay, we'll get it. So I'm in Google, most recent position here. We went long on the big one over here.
Oh, nice.
Google had a nice little dip down. I'm going to offer out so you guys can see. We got to get a fill. There we go. Filled at 67. Now you'll see the positions coming through. Look, we just bought Google here off 164. I mean, we were going to wait to see if VWAP was going to fill in, but never came through. So we only get a couple units there. Nice upside play on Google. And oh boy, shout out to Obi right now. $9 in the money, $8.50 in the money still on this Tesla trade. We talked about trying to make something happen. There it is. It's Tesla. We're still long Nvidia. We've been getting out like throughout the afternoon here. It doesn't seem to want to get through to 122. We have one out there at 121.60. Everything else is just kind of hovering. So we're waiting on that. We have a whole bunch, man. And then you know what? In the snooze fest of the year, it feels like Big Bear AI just continues to do this. We got our fill. So, sirens up for that one. That was just at 10:52, so we must have been live on the air when that had happened. So we do get our half fill there, and then now we're waiting for 340 to break. It's come into play. We're playing with house money. We talked about that, Big Bear AI. Still long the futures. That's 200 handles. We just got filled actually on that one as well. So that's a good little money dropper there as well, going long off the open. Look, we just basically kept it real simple today. Our whole sticky note was littered with longs. We wanted the long. We talked about it earlier. We talked about trying to be confident in this long. The NASDAQ rate here, it's too bad it bounced off 19.7, but that's okay. We're holding 19.6 right now, so we're in this 100 handle range or so. Hey, I saw that you, do you have charts open yet or not yet? Oh, you do?
Yeah. I'm just going to be using the TradingView because I have my P Pro 8 up on the other computer. But yeah, I mean, I can go over some trades. I said in the chat if anybody has any tickers they want to look at, tag me. And yeah, I mean, good time for me to be here too. Shout out to Sharif there getting his fill on Meta. Because the thing is too is like, because I get it, Sharif, I'm not doing news right now, right? We've got the situation here going on with Sharif and his segment there, the rundown until 2:30. So I'm going to be here. I'm just
Adara's all over you, Sharif.
News desk. Anyway, so good times. No rush, Sharif. I was not trying to rush you. I'm just saying, for this half hour or so, I'm really happy to be here with you all. And tag me with any tickers you'd like. Thank you to Mad Wordle for the $20 super chat, buy a green hat. We got a green hat. And we also have one green hat.
It's the best green hat of all time. I mean, it's the Palantir. Now we're matching. We're matching.
Yeah.
Sharif's kind of got a bluish, I was going to say bluish greenish, but it's not. It's just straight light blue. Right. Blue's closer to green than red. Is that true or maybe not?
I don't know about the color. No, they actually, so blue and yellow make green, but blue and red make purple. So they both have like characteristics, but I guess because blue is part of green, then blue is closer.
Okay, we'll get it. Get it, Adara, to take a line from my guy over there. We're feeling like this kind of today. Like today's been a real good. That looks stupid. Today's been a real good day for the longs. It was a great midday show. We celebrated with all those super chats. We got some drinks. We got the green matcha. Oh man, we are really green today, boys and girls. We're excited. Tesla's stair-stepping, man. I wrote down today. And you know what? Take it for what it's worth. Tesla's probably going to be on the rundown, so I don't even know why I'm really talking.
It always is.
All right, it's the first one. So let's just real quick here, There's the long there. Might see 250 today, right? I mean, we are at now on Tesla 248 change, 249.50. So we actually have an out already at 249.50. So we wrote down on the sticky note 241 to 243s long, 242 to 243 long with an eye on 250. So today is a good day. But the kids want to go to Mandarin tonight, which is like a crazy, I know, that's a lot of food.
That.
It's a lot of food, man. It's not too bad. It's an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. I think it's like 40, Marissa was looking up, it's 40 something an adult, but then one of my kids is 13 and the other one's 10, but if you're under 12, I think it's like $22.
So then just lie about one of the kids.
Exactly, so today,
lie about your son's age.
Obviously, so today he's under 12.
But we did that with my sister.
As long as it's 12 and under, the guy's a monster, that's the problem.
Yeah, well, no, because my sister looked like really young for her age. I'm telling you, she was getting kids meals till she was at least 14, 15.
Or 13, 14.
We were like, we're just gonna keep doing it until they tell us.
Is she your height or?
She is my height, but for a while she had like a very like young looking face.
What
so
is
we
the
would
age difference?
It's about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Not bad
nice,
at all.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good age difference.
Yeah, same as my kids actually.
Oh,
So.
nice.
All right, Sharif, it seems like we're locked and loaded, so let's go over and see what you're talking about.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. We got Adara with Sean. They're both locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers up there is to join us during the How to Trade show and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every afternoon. But you got to be a sub in order to vote and to engage with us. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. There's a look at the triple Qs. Guys, we are up 2 1/5 right now on the NQ, 1 4/5 up on the ES, as well as the Dow 1.4%, and the Russell 2000 not that far behind, the NQ up 2.1%. So a good look for the major averages on the day. Here's a look at Tesla, guys. So we're coming into about, looks like 4%, 3 2/3. We got a headline this morning that Tesla looking at creating a cheaper version of the Model Y, specifically for the Chinese customer. It will be built there and it will be sold there, looking at releasing it in the later stages, or the later half, I should say, of 2026.
Sharif, for going over that. Yeah, look, I mean, Tesla today, we just had the feels that it was going to be a long day on Tesla.
Yes,
I mean, it started off great in the pre-market, but then this happened, and we talked about this over and over again, that we've seen Tesla. Yesterday, we saw it drop down. I believe it was $11 or $12. Actually, here, we'll just show it to you. This was yesterday's experience on Tesla. It dropped from 250, where we are right now, all the way down to 235, 234. So it was like, ay. And then now we got to wait. What just happened to me there? Okay, we're fine. Now, oopsies. Now today we had that same sort of an idea, which is why we put our bids down in this area. So 241 to 242. We liked the bid down there. It just came in, Adara. We liked it. We supported it. We took it, and it was basically just not getting us out. Our stop was always going to be 240, so it's a nice little long there to see if we could support that. But as we all know, Tesla's just been getting hit, man. It's been getting hit for a very, very long time. And yeah, at some point there has to be a relief rally is what I feel like. And today we're getting it. The Nasdaq's up that 2%, led by Tesla. I mean, you and I go over the market recap show. Tesla down 7%, down 8%. So it being up 4% is fine. I still think there's a little bit, more ways to go here with TSLA. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here. But I'm excited for the longs.
Yeah, and I think one play too with Tesla that I've been doing anyway, by no means an endorsement, just how I've been trading it. So you look at this yesterday and then again today, what I've been doing is I've been just taking Tesla shorts off the open. So I'll wait for like a key support level to break and then I get involved. So yesterday, I do not, what was exactly the play? They got short somewhere around this, this break here, this 244, risked it into the 245 previous support, and then it dropped, and I got wicked out a little bit early. But then today's short, which I was pretty happy with, I got in very early. So we get this, I guess the first red 3-minute candle is what I was looking for. So we break into that 250, we can't hold that 250, so I wait for us to get a candle below that. I get short the break of this 3-minute low, so that would be that 248.69. Risk to high of day. That totally worked, but I will say I intentionally, A, I don't think I had enough size, and B, I pretty much scalped it because I was like, oh, we're going to get the number at 10, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, I took it like 248.60s or 70s to my best out was, I think, around 244. So happy with the trade. It wasn't a bad trade by any means. It was just specifically a scalp. Thank you to everybody here in the chat. There was also here, we had a super, I think we had a super chat there, and it was from Junior Suarez, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Just a little snack for Adara. Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy to be here, guys. Tag me with your tickers. I know we're going over the rundown, but one person did mention Lily, so I'll quickly take a look at my girl Lily because I feel like, you know, very happy to look over that. I have to say, I really like this level here. We've got this top of 814. 814 was kind of an interesting level if you go back to where we bounced back on Wednesday. But I think if we could break out this 814, it does look a little bit like these lower highs, higher lows, like what Sharif would call a flat top break. But we'll have to find out if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, maybe Monday.
We'll see.
Or today.
Or today.
Sharif.
Good strength for all these microchips and semiconductor names, guys. There was a decent headline today on Nvidia. It was Microsoft related. Looks like they're incorporating a new type of technology with DirectX used for gaming, obviously, and as well as making upgrades to their RTX platform, their gaming GPUs, guys.
All right, wow. This Google, we don't have Google on the board yet. Okay, we'll talk about Google after, but I have the most shares in Google. Actually, we have the same amount of shares in Google and in Nvidia. All right, so we were lucky today, man. We wrote down 118 on the sticky note. Again, it was the 200-period moving average. It fell right into our lap again, right off the open. Like, even when we had that trade, we were like, what? And it just came in. We got out almost immediately. That was right at 9:30. So as the opening imbalances were getting sorted out, we were able to take that long. But again, you got to be sitting there to take it, right? So we had the favor of the long all morning. You know, we have some bad fills too. We had some keystroke errors up there, which is why that looks like that. But then at the end of the day, fell back into VWAP, fell back into the 200 period. We supported it. We went long. We have 5% left only of this stock, and we're trying to see if it holds VWAP. If we break VWAP back there at the end of the day, then we are out of that. So again, it's going to be my number one P&L name. It's kind of like it fell right into 118. 118 is what we wrote down on here. So we wrote down 117 to 118. So the idea there is we pretty much have like a half position, not a full position. It's like a 5 unit. So still a great trade. We averaged it in here. We've traded way more shares than a full 10 units today. But at the end of the day, nice move. Our best out is 120, 150. It gets to 122. I was waiting like at even 122 even or 121.95. It didn't come in, so we don't have that tick, but pretty good, man. Retracement back to the 50 periods, and we're still holding VWAP. We could put that order out right now. My stop, I don't even know if I have a stop for Nvidia because we've been sitting here just trading out of it. My stop would be right here, right now, 120. If we break 120, that's right where VWAP is, so I feel pretty confident using that as a level. You know what, Adair, like I put RSI up here, but I never really even use RSI. So I know we could talk about it. Maybe it makes, you know, we'll leave it on there for a minute because maybe I'll look at it, but I'm debating getting rid of it. Sometimes too much information is a little bit of overflow, like or over stimulus. I don't know. Anyways, you can look at too many things at once is the idea. So we'll stay in our lane here and just look at you know, support and resistance, but here comes through VWAP. So we're gonna get this order out. So here it is, 119.99. We'll put that order out, stop for 100% if that comes through. So, all right, it's been a good Friday. Let's see what you have to say about Nvidia or whatever you want, ARM. Yeah.
I was gonna pull up ARM here because someone asked me about ARM in the chat, so I figured because it's a semiconductor, I wanna pull it up. I'm gonna pull an OB here. This chart has a lot of lines on it. I have really been getting into that. So we've got 3 AVWAPs on this. Obviously, ARM is below all 3. But this one is from the Stargate day. This one is from the semiconductor sell-off on January 27th. This last one's from earnings. Obviously, we're not near any of them. But what I want to notice on ARM here, look at this downtrend on the 15-minute. This starts February 18th, and now today we're trying to break out of this downtrend. I really like this, and I would like to kind of see if we hold support here at that 114 level. That was a little bit of resistance if you go back here, and that would basically be bouncing off the trend line. One thing I've noticed lately, if you've got a trend in one way, you want to see it break it, and then you want to see it bounce off the other direction or reject if it's a situation where we're going from long to short. So you want to see if it can actually make the move around. So I like this look on ARM, much like Sean mentioning Nvidia 118. ARM 118 I think is pretty key here as well. Another level of previous support, or I guess previous support that could become resistance. I think if we break out of 118, I think it's a pretty good look. The next resistance might be 127. It's a bit longer term, but I don't mind this look here at all on ARM. Could be a potential change in the tides, as our man Sharif likes to say.
All right, guys, next on the look here is DocuSign. Sorry, it got cut off a little bit there. Up nicely, 15.5%. This bad boy did report in the aftermarket yesterday. And aside from a couple of like guidance points for the full year 2025, it was a beat on the top and bottom line. They printed revenue of $776.3 million, beating the consensus estimate of $761. Also beat on EPS. Good look for DocuSign, but a bit of a rounded top there, guys.
We'll talk about DocuSign in just one second. We know that Joe got a nice super chat for some DocuSign technical analysis as well. Look, if we're going to get stopped out if it breaks VWAP, then let's take out a little bit when we pop back up a little bit right there. So we were getting nervous. Instead of losing, not losing, but it just popped 40 cents. So let's take a little piece out there of Nvidia. What's up to Amy in the chat, by the way? You can message. I put the email there in the chat. She wants to send us, her husband blends his own coffee beans.
Oh, that's cool.
If you want to send it over there, for sure. Our coffee machine, Ramin also saying, please send. Our coffee machine has the ability to do that. You put in whatever beans you want in the top. It'll grind it up, or if it's pre-ground, great as well. All right, so DocuSign, I mean, look, we always like to look at, when we're talking about these names, and especially if it's on earnings, pre-market levels. Well, guess what? DocuSign goes right into it, right off the open, comes right back in, supports that bottom of the day, which is the pre-market low, and then it just takes off. So I think that, you know, what we want to look at when we are talking about earnings plays, and you guys know this, when there's a gap, which there is today, it opened up 12, 13%. When there's a gap, we play the fade to VWAP. So right off the open, VWAP was right there, so that's not a big thing, but it's this play right there that gaps back to $85. That's the VWAP trade that we all probably should have had if you're playing that, and then it's up to $88. So $3 or $4, $253 to the upside, high of the day, $88.75. Look, DocuSign's a great name. I think I like it for AI. I like it for the technology that they have. I like it for lawyers, accountants. Sharif made a good point there that, you know, he was dealing with contractors, dealing with various suppliers and everything like that. Everybody wants to use DocuSign. It's official. The government supported the law. It's supported in law. It's known as something that's now almost like business practice. Like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Is that's an acceptable business practice, I guess.
I know what you mean. Standard?
The business standard. Yeah, good one.
Maybe?
Yeah, to use DocuSign. So I like the stock. I mean, on a daily chart, I think it's one of the ones, Adair, that's actually held up really well. It's nowhere near the 200 period moving average. So yeah, good stock there, DocuSign. Looking like it wants to take out the 50 period. I like this stock. I think you can almost go long above 90 and then use some of these levels as your outs if you're wrong. So I think DocuSign has a ways to go. It's always nice when we get a good report. You know, you and I did the after show all week.
Yeah.
And, well, Sharif did it on Tuesday, but not too many great reports this week. Nice to see one with DocuSign, a name that many traders own. So
yeah, and I think too, the thing with DocuSign, the guidance was not great, but we had the same thing with Ulta. They double beat, the guidance wasn't great, and Ulta is near days highs. So one thing with DocuSign, I have this daily chart up here, just so I can explain why I have this line here around that $87 level. That was some clear previous resistance on the daily, then it became support. So we're going to switch to the 15-minute chart because this is an example, and like Obi talks about this sometimes, how names respect a VWAP off of earnings. So I showed it to Brian Shannon. What I'll do is I'll anchor it usually on the 3-minute to where we start getting the volume after the earnings report. So we get this, look at the way we get off here at the open. So we go up, we push higher, and then we bounce beautifully off a VWAP. Guess where we bounce again? That was post-market. Then pre-market, we get the bounce. Then off the open, we just spring off a VWAP like it's a beautiful trampoline. I love it. Will we bounce off earnings a VWAP again? I don't know. We'll have to find out, but I like this look, and I want to shout out Obi and Brian Shannon, both of whom I know are avid AVWAP users, and since I've added AVWAP to my repertoire, I feel like it's really helped improve my game.
Wait till you use BVWAP. You know.
What is that? What about CVWAP?
A, B, C.
Or is it Katina Man VWAP? I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll have to find out.
All right, let's go back over there. This VWAP conversation is an interesting one, but it is anchored VWAP for anybody wondering what Adair and I are talking about. Anchored VWAP, where you can put it to, you're the one that creates the spot where we start, right?
Yeah,
so that's what it is. You anchor it to, like you mentioned, past earnings or whatever. So anchored VWAP, very, very key. Brian Shannon definitely supporting that. So, all right, Sharif, what else do we want to talk about here? It looks like Bitcoin.
Bitcoin having itself a good day, and so is IBIT, up over 5 and almost 5.5%, reclaiming that $48 area. Looks like Trump administration signals aggressive cost-neutral Bitcoin accumulation strategy. If you're wondering what that word jargon means, it means that they want to use Federal Reserve funds from revalued gold certificates to establish a Bitcoin reserve. So it's taking money from one side into another rather than raising new money through taxation, guys, or debt. So that's a look right now by the White House.
Here on IBIT, yeah, good day today, up 5%. You can see it's continuing to go. It did have that good news that hit. And, you know, we were on the downside there. As it tends to follow the NASDAQ, I feel like that's pretty true of what we've been seeing so far in the space with this. So yeah, I mean, again, like the stock, like what we're seeing here with IBIT, I can call up Bitcoin right here. So this is the 15-minute chart on BTC. And I mean, again, if we're playing off the 15 period, this is a 200 period moving average on a 15-minute chart. I think there's some love here. So, you know, some nice support. We've supported 82,000 on the daily chart. Again, where is it? There it is. We'll look at a quick daily chart. I'm going to do some more work on this during the show, because just right now I'm just watching. I'm literally in 5 other positions right now. So I just have to watch out to monitor it. But there's the 200 period on the daily. That's what I wanted to show everybody. As we know, we've been looking at that for stocks. I'm not sure how great it is for crypto, but at the end of the day, maybe it means something, and it's right here, right now. So I feel like we're going to have some big decisions to make over the weekend on what exactly crypto wants to do, because you're kind of at some key levels here, Adair. We bounced off 77, 78 a couple times. Now you're all the way up to 84, 85. Let's see which way it wants to go. I feel like it's a little bit of a push and pull. I don't know. Do you own any crypto?
I don't own any crypto. I did trade 2 crypto stocks today, but first I want to talk to Gus Davos. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Hello, all. Been watching for a while. Ooh. I don't understand everything, but enjoy learning from Chicagoland. I mean, I literally learned on this show, so you definitely don't have to know everything right away. Thank you so much, Gus Davos, for being here with us. Thank you also to Eric Crustans for the $5 super chat. No offense to Neil, but I like how you rotated the team in on the big desk. It was a fun week. Shout out to everyone and have a great weekend to all. Shout out to you and thank you so much. Really quickly, I just want to go over, I guess, the divergence between some of these crypto tickers. So MicroStrategy here is, I like this ticker. I took this long right at this breakout. As you can see here, we have these wicks a couple times here into that. Basically 278s, risking to prior bar 5-minute lows. So you could take that move from 278s all the way up to 292s. I think my best out was I got, stops out at 290 on the prior bar low in the 5, and I took way too much out too early. But MSCR, great long. Coinbase, though, looking distinctly different. So this is what I mean earlier. I mentioned how sometimes trends can flip. I had this short initially when we broke that pre-market low, got out basically at the bottom. Then I noticed the downtrend was flipping, so I got out. I did not flip long. I ended up taking the MicroStrategy long, as mentioned earlier, because I thought it looked cleaner. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes I find it helpful to draw trend lines. And even if you're like, 'cause sometimes you might need to stop yourself out early. And I know I'm a huge proponent of waiting for your stop to hit. But if you just know you're wrong, if something's changed, just accept that, I think, sometimes. So that is the thing here. Coinbase and MicroStrategy looking distinctly different this year day.
Good look today for, guys, Palantir, as they strike a deal with R1 to launch a product called R37. It's basically going to work in the healthcare financial field for billing, as well as some other things. So good look today for Palantir. No question about it. Up 8.1%.
All right, so Palantir here at $86. Yeah, look, this is the 50-period moving average. It just needs to get above it. I didn't buy any of this dip. I'm still long Palantir. We basically held through all of this, so it kind of sucks to do that, but we talked about being forever long. So, look, to me, before we get really excited about pushing the long, I mean, we could easily get up to this level on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think we need to clear this 92 area. I think we just got to get through all of this. Get back here, then start to play some of these gaps, and then get back to the north side. Look, this should not be a tariff name, so I don't know. It got hit there, obviously, on some Doge concerns there, that if they're going to cut back some of the government spending, what does that exactly mean for Palantir? I've heard Sharif say this, and I agree. I don't think it means anything for Palantir. Like, whatever. The defense is still there. Immigration's still obviously a problem. We haven't even heard Donald Trump really talk too much. Anyways, recently, obviously, he ran on some of this, but the deportation and all that kind of stuff. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening with border controls. But Palantir is big into big data. They can help with all of that. They've signed with Department of Defense, Department of Justice, everywhere in the United States. I shouldn't say everywhere, but many different contracts. Also contracts in Israel, all throughout Europe. So, and they're also coming through with customer side with their foundry, and they just had AAPL.
Yeah.
As you know, you're reporting on that all week as well. Yep. So, yeah, Palantir today looks very different than the others, because most of them today, Adara, we had a dip opportunity.
Yes.
Palantir just got going. So it was too much for me to get involved with. But, man, you got to like the stock. Look at VWAP. Like,
That's
for anybody
beautiful.
that wants to, I know you're talking about Anchor, but this is VWAP right here, blue. Yeah. VWAP. So that's, that's a big trade there. And, that's volume weighted average price. So we wait to see if it's going to be supported. It looks like it's a great long, up another 8%. Like, it goes up or down 8% a day, it seems.
It really does.
But we like the stock, Palantir.
Indeed. Yeah, I want to say, too, with Palantir really quickly, one thing of note, too, with regards to budget impacts. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, somebody went through his Venmo contacts, and he's got a lot of buddies in Anduril and PLTR, Palantir. So people think even if we do have a budget cut, the chances of it impacting Palantir or Anduril are actually pretty low. I think that's worth noting. I want to quickly, before I leave you all and go back to that news desk, HXC6 here. Would you folks mind taking a look at
you don't have to leave.
Applied Digital? I mean, Joe's going to step up, right? I got to go back to the news, but
whatever you want.
Yeah, you know, the news waits for no woman, especially not today with Trump. But
Valid.
yeah, this APLD daily chart, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit chippity-choppity. I think there's clear support here around this $6.01 level, but I think if we break below that support, I don't know necessarily how we fare, and I'm going to make maybe an unpopular opinion. We get this pop here Friday, February 21st. Like, look at that volume on this pop. I would honestly maybe argue that was a bit of a shakeout. That was a bit of a trap. We get this high volume pop, we have a topping tail candle, and then we push lower. So I'm not going to lie, I think HXC looks like a little bit of a no-go on the daily chart. Now, in terms of this 3-minute, if I may use my little cursor here, yeah, the 3-minute, I mean, this is intraday. It does look a little bit downtrendy, but we did break out. If we can break out from this support earlier, made around $6.90, which we're trying to, then maybe that's a good look intraday. Daily chart, though, Sean, it looks a little bit scary.
Applied Digital Corporation.
Yeah, Nvidia's invested in them, I think. Yeah.
Right, I was going to say, I haven't really looked at them too much, but again, yeah, good little look right there. So the stocks that you were actually physically trading today?
Yes.
What were they?
Oh, yeah, I was involved in a lot of names today, but I was just kind of like seeing what happened. We're up on the day, although I did do a little give back. So Ulta Beauty, we had Meta. We read on both. Then we had MSTR, Coin, Green, Tesla Green. I mentioned that scalp off the open.
Look at you.
And then I also was involved in AAPL, which I think we're a little red on. So yeah, green on the day. MSTR and Coinbase gave me the coin. You know, we had some strategies. But with all that said, really happy to be here with you guys. A little bit of impromptu things. We're going to get Joe with the options flow coming back on soon, I think.
You know the funny thing that when you first started, I remember you didn't even really want to go short.
Yeah, I was scared to short.
So nervous
you
about
and
going
Obi
short.
like bullied me into it.
Right, and I don't want to use the term bully, but I was just like, just go short, try it for once, because being on a prop floor, of course, as long as you understand, I think that's the big thing. A lot of people don't understand shorting.
Yeah, the mechanics.
Right, the mechanics of it, right? Once you do understand it, for us, it's about pushing F11 or F2. Like, once you set up your keys, it's all good. So there you go, the sort of maturation of your trading. And now, all of a sudden, like, I just asked you, what have you traded? It's like, you're just naming off, like, not easy symbols to trade, man.
Thank
so
you.
there you go, Adara. Yeah, I mean, why don't you get back to the desk, all right?
I will. Thank you very much for having me on.
Congratulations again. Thanks for filling
Options flow, Joe.
Yeah, and then we will have tonight, we may or may not have Raider Trader on tonight at the recap show. So we look, okay, good. We do have it while he's scheduled to come on. So we're excited. Oh, good. Okay, good. So Raider Trader will be on. That is confirmed. So me and Adara and I will talk to Raider Trader tonight on the market recap show. And Adara will get us all the news if and when there is anything this afternoon. I think that there probably will be at least one story to kick through. So thank you, Adara, for that one. All right, man. We are really, really rocking. I mean, I don't really know where to start. So our last fill right here is Google. It looks like it's trying to barcode, and whenever that happens, we will always try to sit near the top side of that trade. So here it comes right now, trying to break out. And again, this move was just one where we were watching it. We posted it up in the midday chat there just before we got it. Yeah, Adam, so wants to talk about this? So my daughter was just bored, and we were sitting there watching TV. She was doing, I dare show you my toenails, but that's maybe for a paid product right there. Feet. Remember, what was that foot we talked about? Only feet, OnlyFans, Feet Finder. Yeah, whatever.
Feet Finder.
That might exist. I don't even know. I was just. Oh, it does exist. Yeah, of course. Of course, Ramin knows about that. All right. So, but no. So she was bored and she wanted to do that, and I was like, "Give me one red, one green, just in case." What's up, Joe? But just to do something fun there. I don't know. The problem is it's. I don't know the kind, but I had to put it under the light there, and it got it, the fluorescent light, and it just like hardens it. So yeah, that's what happens when you have 10-year-old daughters that are looking for something to do. And then she's the one that bugged me to go to Mandarin tonight, Joe. So yeah. So I called Baxter. So I have a 23-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So we'll be going, hopefully, out for dinner tonight, which should be nice. We also do have, I'll be demonetized if I show those toenails. Okay, yeah, we don't want to do that. Plus, that's an added feature. That's like an added subscription.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Right, that's the Patreon. Yeah, find me on Cameo or Patreon or something like that, and we can do all of that. Okay, right now it's not. I mean, we could hit this a bunch of times. Let's just hit it 3 times. But it's $9 in the money right now. Tesla is looking to break, and this is, again, we have a piece on still looking to break 250. I'm just going to let it go into the close. I mean, I think the market gets back to, or at least looks at highs again. We talked about, Joe and I have been talking about 19.6 for a minute. We talked about that with Obi. That level held. Like, once we got back through remember when we were down here, I'm like, let's see if we get back to 19.6. I think we can. That was the high of the day. Well, once we took that, we came back, and then it was bang support again. So we nail that 19.6 level as a key level. It actually goes back a couple, like if I drop this into, right, chances this crashes, 40% chance. Let's see, 15-minute chart. Ooh, it is not going to crash. All right. So shout out there to, oh, maybe it will. But it did get rid of my line. But okay, anyways, we'll just go here. We'll put another one. So here's 19.6 right here, Joe. So, whoops, that's not a line. That's a nothing. Here's a line coming up right there. There's 19. Oh, the line went this way. Okay. Hold on, I will go line, remove. Look how easy that is. All right, so yeah, we talked about that before. We had been over 19.6. We had touched it right there, touched it again right here. Now we're into 19.7 territory. The reason why we wanted to zoom out, because we could just put another one of these lines right here and say 19.750 is basically as high as we gotten on the 12th. So right here, we're right in the middle now. We'll see if we can get to 19.7. We still are long the TQQs as well. We have some more. Okay, I didn't even realize this is at the 50, the 200 period moving average. So in an attempt to stay disciplined, let's put an offer. There it is. So we just put an offer right there on the futures. Get out here. Our best out is basically, I guess that 19.650 or whatever, close to 19.7 there on the TQs. So again, this is what believing. I mean, whatever. Everybody has to have different stops, but we had talked about this. It's on our sticky note right here, TQQs, and I'll just show this once, and then once Joe's ready to go, I'll throw it over there because. Oh yeah, we're ready. But it's just like, to me, it's not really rocket science. There's the TQs, 59 long. So we weren't getting out of this until it breaks 59. We actually had a lot more shares if it was going to come through waiting for 59. But when it comes to 59.50, that's good enough, man. Some of our first outs are like that 50 cents away. These are all 60s. These are 60-20s, right? So as we start to go up, we're taking more than 1-to-1, obviously, as it just continues to increase. And the same thing right here. So we liked it once, we liked it twice. Just stay in the trade if you think it's right. Like, we got smacked around. We went 4 for 5 this week. We only had one red day, and I believe it was Wednesday. Was it yesterday? No, yesterday was a good day. It was Wednesday, whatever the choppy day was. Oh no, I was with Obi, I think. Yeah. So we had one day, because yesterday. Oh, look, I'll call it up. I'll just open up the broker statement after this. But we had one day this week for sure that we were red. We were for sure green on 4 of them. This will be our best day today. We don't even have a losing name today on board. Let's review our BBAI, because this might be one that does have. I mean, look, we have Google, Nvidia, TQs, Tesla, and Big Bear could be, flat to negative based on fees and stuff. But this name, again, we were waiting for Big Bear AI. We saw Palantir really moving. We thought that this could have been a low float kind of, recovery day for some of these names. Looks like it was that on quantum. We should have focused, obviously, in hindsight again. Everything seems to be hindsight these days. Not really today because we're long and stayed long, but we should have been on quantum names instead of Big Bear AI, but at the end of the day, it breaks that 350. We like that 350 level. I can go show you why. But it goes up to 360, and that's where we got out of half of that trade, as we discussed, because our out was always going to be 340. So if it broke 340, then we would lose 10 cents. So we wanted to make sure that we got 10 cents. And then, as we described before, Joe, as well, we'll play with house money. So right now, if it breaks it, cry me a river, but we came pretty close, man. So let's see if this can get some juice here into the close. Big Bear AI, I liked the 350 break, and dang. I mean, it was just kind of like trying to get going there. That was today. If we zoom back out, maybe you can see why we liked it. Whoops, that might have been too far, but here's 350 right here. So we can draw this line. I just thought, hey, if we take this out today, then we like it. Topped out there on the 10th, topped out on the 12th. We thought that it had a chance to go, but obviously today it doesn't have the juice, but it doesn't mean it can't get it in the next hour or so, right? Exactly, I mean, it's only 2:30.
And I mean, we got options, a lot of options expiring as well too this week, guys. So welcome back. I am back. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much.
Oh, position board is gone.
Well, for Katina Man, it is. He's just going to refresh it. So I guess once we get a couple executions rolling, then we'll get that back. So yeah, guys, we're looking at Nvidia here. If we can pull up my chart real quick to see what we got cooking up,
it's back.
You can see it's back, baby. And then you can see that we are holding view up relatively well, up 4 1/3 here on the day, which is a really positive sign for this. And I like that Sean mentioned, it's like, hey, no one really noticed this, but this is a quiet rally in Nvidia, about 20% off of those lows roughly, or like 10-15% off of those lows. So 105 all the way up to 120. And I talked about the high levels of open interest at that strike price. So guys, take that into consideration. What's going to happen here? If whoever's short there is now in the money, it's going to be assigned 100 shares or however many contracts that is. So 1 times 100, 2 times 100, 200 shares, whatever it may be. So you're going to start to see some volume pickup. One thing, as we run into this resistance zone, I want to see this volume step up as well too on the lower time frame. So we have to keep an eye out for this. Excuse me, if it really starts to pick up, then look for us to break through these zones and then even get into the high day for a potential, go and potentially test the high day. Because if you get that squeeze like type price action, exactly Tesla squeeze mode, and some of these names going into squeeze mode because of the expiration cycle, then you're going to be sitting in a good position. So nice look there, Katina Man. I know that you are long all of these names and you
just got Google 90 cents.
There you go. So you traded them really well. And it's unfortunate that I didn't because we had relatively the same ideas, pushed as heavy as I could, didn't work out. That's the name of the game. Well, guess what, Sean? We got Monday. You're supposed to say what there, but you did, when I said guess what, Sean, you didn't.
Well, yeah, but you didn't give me much time. You said, guess what, Sean? We've got Monday. It's like you were just like I'm letting you cook.
Okay, so I gotta work on the dramatic pauses.
Right. Remember I was trying to work on those.
You were doing a good job on those anyway. So yeah. All right, we'll try it again. Guess what, Sean?
What, Joe?
What? All right, here we go. We got Monday as well too, guys. So we're.
Go ahead, yeah, keep going.
So yeah, we got Monday.
I don't know when you're finishing.
Yeah, right there. So no, I was gonna finish what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go.
But I do think that we can continue to squeeze. We do have some key resistance zones that we need to punch through. Volume kicks in, I think that comes into play.
Yeah, no, so what I was thinking about as well, Joe, was that we talked about it earlier, and it was like, just make sure that you do not repeat similar mistakes. Like, there is always tomorrow, and in our case, as we just discussed, Monday, to come in and trade again, right? Like, here we go, Google's now $1 in the money. Like, we just put this on, and it's like, it's that question that we had earlier too, right? Is that, do you keep pushing the envelope as you start feeling good? Like someone had mentioned earlier, I think was it Dear Ollie or somebody was like, hey, what, if I'm cooking on Tuesday, do I trade the rest of the week? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, I could have just sat here. We're already at a nice number today. I'm not even, but at the end of the day, I just put this trade on. I could have stopped trading, but I saw an opportunity for Google, and so we went long, and now it's just like helping us top it off here as we get closer and closer. And someone just said Google, or maybe they didn't say it, but we're talking about it right now. This is cooking, boys and girls. This is Tesla is $251. Tesla's now $11 in the money there off of what we had talked about earlier. Like, just try to get this long. And it came in. We wrote down 242s. We really like it. We're long down here, and there it goes, man. $10 off the sticky note right there. Nice little level here for Tesla, and just absolutely rip city now. And I don't even have a target out at this point. Like, this is the thing. We get out here, that would make the most sense. This goes back to the 12th, so you're back just 2 days back into Wednesday where we had been up here. So I think it might be time to think about putting a trail in. The only problem is I think the market has a decent chance here, my guy, to continue to run. And yeah, we took out that 19.7, or we're close enough to it. If we do take it out, I think this could run up, but we'll watch it carefully there. If we're going to put a stop in, why not use the 50-period moving average? It's actually been pretty choppy. I think the most conservative would be that, but I think if you're going to get a little more aggressive, we bounced off the 200 a couple times down there at 248.50. So that is a great opportunity as well, I believe, there today. So we can wait to see if that happens. 248, 249.50. If you're in a bunch of shares and you want to just maybe piece some out and you're trying to get this big home run, but I would say that ultimately 248.50, where this 200 period moving average is, that would be something to take in consideration. Okay, for Google, we have about 20% left. Nvidia, pretty light. We just took another piece out there right before we came back for that on Nvidia. Okay, what do we want to talk about? I mean, that's the thing. Now it's time to get this going. Yeah, someone else just said they're taking a $10 winner too. Shout out to Charlie Taff. Let's go. That's a good trade that you had there on DocuSign. You had mentioned earlier. I think you made a K or so, $1,000 or so on that trade. So congratulations on that. The market does, could be in for a pullback. We're 200 handles in the money on the TQQs, and we should have been a little more diligent there as well, getting something out near these tops. I don't know, it's Friday. I mean, we've been here many times before and seen this market like go for a run. So I do think there's an opportunity for that to happen one more time here, Joe. So I don't necessarily want to get too caught off guard and not be prepared for a potential move higher. So why don't we just sort of sit in some of these trades that we have now? We'll offer out some of these highs. If we're able to get them, great, 61.75. Let me put some orders out and then, well, we're almost at 61.75 right now. So we'll put that order out. We're almost there at that top, see if we get that fill. And then we'll just work with whatever questions and comments others might have here because, we're ready to do that. So if there is anything to talk about with us, please put it in the chat. And Joe and I will go over some of those names. I know there was Meta talk, Tesla talk again. Thing about it is Tesla's getting that. Part of what's happened to Tesla, obviously, and we talked about this before, it's not just the company that people are hating on, and you know this because you say this too. It's the management. They don't like what sort of Elon, the image that he's portraying, what it means now to be a Tesla owner. There's some people that are like,
which I think is.
I mean, some people didn't want to watch Disney or take their kids there because it was too woke or whatever before, right? And so now you're going to get into those feels. And I think that Tesla, I think Sharif said it, or maybe you did, it was like, well, let's see what people are saying when it's back at $500.
Well, that's what I said,
so
right?
We'll give it some runway here.
So people don't like them right now because the stock has essentially took a 50% haircut. But what happens when it climbs back up to 500? Let's see who really dislikes Elon at that point. And I can talk a lot about it. Do I agree with what he's doing? But you also got to take into consideration, Elon got Tesla to where it's at right now because of who he is. And then now you have to take it for whatever it is. The guy's going to go off the rails. What we'd like to see is that. But he's going to get involved in a lot of things because that's his nature. That's what he's used to do. He has so many things going on, and he just has that constant machine rolling. So when you own Tesla shares, that's why a lot of people got involved, is because of Elon Musk. So with that, you have those crazy appreciations over the past 10, 15 years, whatever it may be. But then now he's taking part in other things, and the shareholders may not necessarily like that. But just understand it comes with the territory. Even myself had to realize that and be like, hey, I know you don't like what's happening with the stock price, but you still have faith in Elon. I'm pretty sure you bet on him 10 times out of 10, regardless of what the situation is. And I think he will come up on top because that's just the type of individual he is. He's essentially succeeded his whole life. Is he? He's obviously took losses. That doesn't come without any question. Because I remember I was listening to him say one time it was between Tesla and something else that he was running. And he only had a couple $1 million left. And I forget the other company. I don't know. Was he involved in PayPal or something?
Elon?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
So, a lot of the companies.
Exactly. So he had two. Anyways, he had two companies. He's like, okay, they could both possibly lose. He's like, I've been nourishing them forever. What do? I only have a couple $1 million. Do I funnel it all into one, or do I try to save both of my babies? And he saved Tesla, and that's when you see he's sleeping on the factory floor, whatever it may be. So just have faith in the man, even though it is some short-term pain, and maybe take a little bit longer to get back to where we are. I think that with proven history, you can see that we appreciate it. We doubled in price in the span of a couple months. I think that can come back into play, especially with these robots coming in and autonomy as well too. That can add a potential $1 trillion to the market cap of Tesla. So what is that going to do? Is almost essentially going to double the price of the stock. But I think that's years away, to be honest with you, 26, 27, 28. But be patient and have faith. So,
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to focus on a longer term, especially with a lot of these companies, especially with this recent move down. I mean, we were talking about yesterday buying some SPY. Sure, it's in the money today. We bought it at a good price yesterday too. So we're in the money 2% as the S&P is up 2% today, but I'm not selling, that's the thing. Like, we could talk all about these trades. At the end of the day, until you sell, it doesn't really matter what's been happening. So there it is, man. We get those TQQs. It's not that it's not doing anything. It's doing a lot today. NASDAQ up 2.3%. Still going to be not the greatest week, of course, for the NASDAQ as we get a little bit of a recovery data point today with the Michigan sentiment, which was actually lower than expected, which was not a great number. And that's sort of, if you look at the TQQs, let's just call up the Qs here because TQ's chart is a little bit nasty with too many things written on it there. But 10 o'clock, there's that dip down. And that's where we were able to take that those bids and get long on that Michigan number. And you could see it selling right off into it. We get the number, it gets absorbed, and then it was Rip City back up to the upside, where right now you are at day's high. And obviously we're in 200 handles, 225 handles now in the money there. Everything is really cruising, man. Google also right back to highs. We'll see if we can get some love upside there for Google. So what about MSTR? I see some people in the chat. Look, with Bitcoin ripping today, really, I mean, it's not ripping, but when we were talking about before, it's 82. Now you're at 84.6. That's a good little level there for crypto. And look at MSTR just really battled today. It started off, again, pretty choppy back into the afternoon, the pre-market lows, and then we just took off this afternoon, making new highs into 296 right now. So as crypto continues to make those moves a little bit higher, it looks like MSTR wants to be part of that club as well. And again, just like everyone was so doom and gloom not too long ago when this name was at $230, what are we thinking now that we're near 300? So MSTR looks like it's going to be a winner for now as well, Joe, back there to the upside. The trade that I thought we might have missed out on today was a little bit of an easier one. It was Mara. Mara came through with just such a great level this morning, 12.50. Like, look at these bases, right? This is reminding me of like those Nvidia 114s, sort of the Teslas down there that we looked at 240, 241. Like, just it's been hitting here a couple days. Even it doesn't have the longevity, but an Intel down there at 20. Like, you're looking for levels that have held and even have these wick bottoms. Like, these wick bottoms that you see mean that the stock's been traveling back and forth. And, you know, it does have the oomph to get down and back to the upside. So I really like this down there. 12, I mean, the bottom looks like 1220 or so. And look where we get into today, Joe, 1240. So it was really worth it, in my opinion, to sit there and possibly take that long, and then now you get a clean VWAP bounce again. And we really like seeing VWAP attached with a support and resistance level, and that happened right there at 1290. So potentially a little bit of a trade that's optimal into the afternoon. If we do get a Mara dip, I would think 1290 would be somewhere that we're willing to sit around there and take that trade. All right, now I'm starting to feel some kind of ways because Tesla just topped out again at these levels. We talked about already being up here. I'd hate for this to happen again. So we're going to watch out. That's 248 and change. We talked about getting out if we took out the 200 period because we have a smaller, much smaller piece left in the single digits. 248, that's 248.80. I'm just double checking my broker here or my account to see where we have the stop at. I don't even think I have one for Tesla. So 248.79, a good year. We'll get out of that. We'll push offer, enter, and then we'll see if it drips down into that level. That's where we'll get out, stop out of our last piece. Let's give it $2.50, 230 or so worth of range to come back in. That's going to be Tesla. Again, like the stock down here, it seems like it was trying to base out a little bit. There's that 238, 240 or so area. We'll see if Tesla wants to hold off that and we get a little bit of a climb there into the next week. And hopefully we'll get some better news, right? Hopefully we'll be able to see Elon and Donald do some magic next week again. I still think that he's gonna, I think if he walks away from Doge, Tesla's up 10% that day.
Easily. I think
easily.
So. Yeah, I think
that's a big market cap move, and I think it's possible for sure. So we'll see if that can happen, and I think it's momentarily, right? I think at some point Donald's going to say thank you so much for your service. You know, you've done what you can. Now get back to work, and I think that will definitely spark some of the Tesla bulls, and then you'll get back going. I mean, we have guys smarter than us, you know, like a Dan Ives that's talking about the stock $500. Like, you know, there are higher price targets out there for Tesla, and I mean, I get it. These guys are bullish all the time. You know, we've been talking about Apple 250, 260. Dan, I've loved it at 250. Must love it at 210, right? So,
right?
That's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
you said it was a pivotal moment for Elon, Danny Ives. I don't know if you've seen that. He's like, this is a key moment. So one day he was really bullish, and the next day he's saying this is a key pivot for Elon with Doge and company because he knows that shareholders aren't happy. But again, it comes with the territory. Someone in the chat said, sorry, Adair, we're going to send it to you in 1 second. But someone in the chat said, Joe, I thought you're looking to get out of your Tesla. And I am, actually, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean, I want to get out of the Tesla, but that doesn't mean I can't get back in, Sean. Who says I can't get back in? If I think there's going to be
never
some
pick the bottom.
I'm waiting for a bounce to get out.
Okay,
I have a good average price. I'm waiting to get out of the position, and I'll get back in. But I want to allocate other things that I think can have more immediate growth in the short term, and then get back into Tesla when the robo fleet is out.
You just think there's too many headwinds.
Exactly. And when this optimist starts to come into play too, right? So then you can always get back into the stock. No one's saying that I can't get back into it. But hey, what you up to?
I just wanted to mention here with regards to Elon Musk and his Doge trim, he has said multiple times he's only going to be involved in the Department of Government Efficiency until 2026. So there actually is already a hard stop for Elon Musk's involvement in Doge. I just want to bring that up because we're talking about it. He has said repeatedly, first when it was announced, and then he's repeated this over and over again, Elon Musk will be leaving Doge or no longer involved in it as of 2026. When in 2026, I am unsure, but he has repeatedly said that is going to be the cutoff point for his Doge involvement. So that might provide some relief for Tesla investors. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I did hear this discussed and it has been repeated multiple times by Elon. Back to you.
So 9 months from now.
Yeah, too long. I think he'll be. I'm hoping. Thanks to Derek for doing that.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that level, so that date. But too long. I feel like really, does he need to be there for 8 more months? I don't know. It just seems. It seems a little bit much, but we'll wait. I mean, I feel like he'll step away potentially a little bit earlier than that. Okay, what about?
Yeah, I was gonna say I just think it's a handoff because of what he did for Donald in his campaign, and then it's like here you go, you can have a political entity now.
I think that's 100%. That's what's going to be happening there. And again, he doesn't not doing it for money, not doing it for anything there. I think he's just. I mean, look, the guy was jumping around on stage with Trump before he was elected. Doing all this stuff, wearing the MAGA hat.
Everybody knows he had a massive bet placed on Donald Trump.
Right. Yeah. So, and again, but I mean, that bet is massively not cashing right now because how much he's lost on that. And again, it was a huge boon for them early. Seems to be coming back now. I mean, the market was just at all-time highs 3.5 weeks ago. So, I don't really know what to say. But all right, Quantum, man. I mean, the only thing to say here is ride that bull. You like that one better, or you like this one better?
I like the first one.
We can't agree on anything these days.
Would you like the second one more?
Yeah, I think the first one's a little bit cheesy.
All right, play it back one more time.
Play it back one more time. I'm going to have another look. What do you guys think in the chat here? You like the first one? I don't know. Like, what am I doing here? And then there's also the next one here. But I'm not sure I like what I'm wearing in this one.
Right,
that one's a little bit too fast.
I like that one more.
Come on, now you're changing your mind. Okay, Joe, you stick with the gut, man. You you like that one. Join Raider Trader with us tonight as well as we'll talk to him all about different things.
His Hershey's call. Good call on Hershey's there, Raider Trader.
Has it been HSY?
Yeah.
Let me have it.
Very good.
Yeah. He was. I forget what the reason for that was for Hershey's, but. I don't want to give him. When did he make that call?
Last week.
Last week?
Yeah. Before it popped through there. So okay, now it's come back in. So when he did make that call.
On that call.
Yeah, so roughly around.
This is the thing, man. Look, I mean, Raider Trader is a good friend of ours. Michael Noss, all these guys, Brian Shannon, everybody that's been on the show will never. The thing is though, we do it live. You can see all of our trades every single day. We're doing it live. Now, Raider Trader, I don't know. Maybe he's out of that trade. Maybe he's not. We'll ask him. And, all of our guests, full of integrity. And I'm hoping that they'll give us the goods when we ask them this. But the idea there is that, and again, most of them have things they sell. We don't sell anything. I don't know if they post it up. I'm out of this trade. I'm not. Yeah. But you can always come back and be like, we got out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, to answer your question is like, we don't know if he's in or out still, right? So at the end of the day, this is why I always say, when we have Michael Noss on, myself, you, anybody that makes an opinion on a direction of a stock or something like that, you have to do your own research and figure out what risk parameters are for you. Like, like Neil mentioned that he got out of Rivian at $16. I don't know if he did or not. He says he did.
Yeah.
For me too, like I got out of some Palantir, I'll tweet them out, but at the same time, it's like you got to judge where the risk is for you, what your tolerance is, and trade it for yourself. Because just because someone will say they're long Hershey, my time frame for a stock like that might be couple months, you know,
Exactly.
letting it go.
Right.
And so listen to the reasons, listen to why most of these traders are excited about something, and that should give you.
Maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll start posting the swings on the old X account there, and you guys can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's not,
Right.
and yeah, well, I think, yeah, it's, and again, it's not about like not trusting any of the plays. It's just like that way we can actually track them.
And you'd be like, hey, look, this is what we did. This is our play. We talked about it on the show. We executed it. Now let's see what happens. Win or lose. We're not in bid. We lose all the time on this show. We win all the time on this show. We're not. I'm not scared to show. You're not scared to show that you win or lose because it's part of it's part of the environment that we're in.
No, and
right?
we're embarrassed to talk sometimes. Like we just said, like look, I've just lost. And again, we have single digits on this.
Yeah.
But I was just talking about Tesla up here and thinking like, okay, well, we're gonna try to see if this can run through. And just by me doing that now, it looks like we're gonna get stopped out, and I'll cost myself about $2 off the top right there, right? So again, like I'm long from down here. So a lot of it is going to be perspective. How many shares do you have left? Like, you know,
Positioned well is what you're really good position.
Well, here today, yes. Yeah. And we had talked about it yesterday. Remember in Tesla yesterday, and I can show you, we tweeted out our losing trade yesterday as well. We were looking for 242 yesterday in Tesla right here. This was yesterday's chart, Joe. You were with me. Mm-hmm. It dropped, it just kept going. So we got out for that $1.50 and hit red, right? Took the red, and then it just kept on tanking. So it was a great thing that we're able to get out at those levels, right? And so again, just a little bit of back and forth there, and it's all about time horizon. The risk that you have in there, is it a dollar cost average position, so on and so forth. So there is a quantum event next week. Is that the Nvidia quantum event? Someone there, shout out to JCB Sports Cards, QBTS. Let's have a look at that as we discuss this. Right now, QBTS today, just up 41%. And again, this is off of earnings 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago anyways. Continues to run to the high side there, QBTS. So congratulations to JCB. I'm just gonna call you up here to see what exactly you had mentioned here. Maybe Derek can confirm this. Hey guys, QBTS, big quantum event next week. So I do know that, and this chair's getting a little bit uncomfortable. You know, last year I actually slipped and it hit my tailbone.
Oh no.
And I don't know if that's ever, have you ever hurt your tailbone?
Yeah, large and hot.
It's like still bothering me.
Dude, that hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. So the doctor said that they can kind of like probe the area and potentially see if there's more wrong. I'm fine with that. We'll just live with it for a couple more minutes and see.
Well, that's why you got the cushion there too.
And I threw the cushion away. I was just sitting like a little more comfortable. But anyways, yeah, we'll discuss it. Maybe Adair has some news if there is a quantum event next week or what it is.
What's up?
There's not a quantum event next week, but there is Quantum Day. It's part of here. I'll just pull up QBTS. So it's part of Nvidia's GTC conference. This is their week-long conference going from March 17th to March 21st. Now, apparently, March 20th is dedicated to quantum. It is a whole quantum day. Companies at Quantum Day do include QBTS here, so that would be quantum. QBTS D-Wave, I apologize, guys. Rigetti also going to be there. So RGTI and QBTS both attending NVIDIA's Quantum Day on March 20th. So that is just a one-day aspect of the week-long event dedicated to quantum. It's not a whole quantum event, but apparently the Thursday will be quantum-focused. Back to you.
There, so I did know that there was... you doing, my guy? Why is what that?
Touch any of your guys.
Not you. I'm talking to this guy. He should be a bull.
Well,
a day like today, we can sell bulls. Why is that?
What is this guy?
I don't know, man. Randy put that orange in there, and then ever since then, it's been. All right. I was going to say I did know that there was. Thanks, Dara, for confirming that. But there was that Nvidia next week, and so I did think that there was something
Brown
there.
went to high school with his cousin there.
Oh yeah, Connor Brown. Yeah, he was playing for Ottawa.
Was he still playing for Ottawa? There?
I don't know where he's playing now, but I think he's still in the NHL. Definitely not with the Marlies or Leafs.
No, he's too old for that now
anymore. Yeah. The Marlies are the AHL team there for the Maple Leafs, kind of like the minor league team. But it's different for hockey. Yeah. All right, so 249, looking like it wants to hold for Tesla. What else do we want to talk about? Rigetti's going for, okay, we can just talk about some more quantum names here as we go. The problem is I'm on Big Bear AI, I'm on Google, I'm on Nvidia, I'm on Tesla, and I'm on Qs, and they're all long. So I'm starting to think about, now that we've entered Power Hour, what are we, look at this. Yeah. Let's go long.
Wow.
We're looking for something to do. We're having a good day. We can risk a little bit of, There was a couple pieces of pie right here. All right, 1090. Like, we are right there right now. The question is this: do we wait for 11 to break? Or do we wait for a pullback into the 50-period moving average, which may not come? I don't think we get long immediately, but this is the high of the day. What does size look like here at 11? Let me just see, first of all, what does the daily look like? So okay, so 11's not super, well, all right, so the last time we broke 11 basically went to only 11.14, upside 11.84 there. Nothing here. Okay, so all right, if we break 11, it could still go. I mean, it stopped at 15s, whatever, and then it went up to 80s, and then this time it went up to 50s. So the last 3 breaks, basically, this one was nothing right there, so we'll just discount that. Then the next 3 were actually gave us minimum 15 cents with the high of 80 cents. So that could be a good little level there for Rigetti. So let's do that. What does it look like here on the level 2? All right, well, for right now, let me just zoom this down and have a quick little look. So yeah, there's a little bit of size. Mind the colors there. So now it's back down. We can only see 10 levels. So we'll wait to see their 99s. I don't know. We'll wait to see O's. I just don't have it color coded yet. It doesn't look like there's going to be too much size with 104 million shares though. Not too worried about it. So let's just take RGTI long if it does break. Let's just put 1101. We'd like to see the for sure break there. We'll punch in at 1102. And we'll take a few shares and see if that works out for us. Okay, so $11 break on Rigetti, something we want to look for. As long as some of the other quantum names are still going, we'll be fine with that. So they're all at highs right now. QBTS is actually very similar. I just think this is already up 40%. Fine. Like, it's like, oh, what one do I want to go long? The one that's up 40% or the ones that's up 27, 25%? I don't think it matters that much. Let's just play the momentum right now. It looks like Rigetti does get that nice bounce off the 50-period moving average. So we'll take it. When we get long, because I feel like this probably will break, let's do back to these sort of prior bar lows here, 1085. So there we go. So that's the math. That's how I'm thinking. You know, Joe and I often do that kind of stuff. Think about where the risk is on the breakout. So if you're wrong and it fails back in, you don't want to be fumbling with your keys to look at levels because it could fumble and come back in within like 30 seconds. And if you don't have the plan of action, then you're going to get run over. So 1085, a little bit lower than that. We'll see if it breaks back through if we get long on Rigetti breaking through $11. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for bringing that one up. We got a question earlier about XSP, which is the Toronto iShares equivalent to the SPY. So you can see today, XSP up 1.96, Spiders up 1.88, so it's pretty close to it. Again, you know, the liquidity is not as great here, so this will get even closer to it. Remember, they do hedge out end of day. They do the currency hedge. So you could get a little bit, like small percentage points off intraday, but this is roughly what it is. They asked for me, what is the NASDAQ equivalent of that? It's XQQ. So XQQ right here is the iShares NASDAQ 100 ETF here in Canada. So again, not going to do near the volume because it's not heavily traded as much as the indexes are in the United States, and most of that is because of options. The Spiders is the #1 traded options vehicle in the history is the SPY again, right? So as far as numbers, Forex we'll go through more, but there we go. So here again, so there's the match, right? There's the NASDAQ today, 227. There's the XQQ. And again, they're all iShares. So as far as paying a management fee and things like that, those MERs will be worked into the price and you don't have to worry about it. It will just mimic it. And again, because it's iShares, you know, you're not paying a whole lot there on that side of things.
Yeah, on the management fees, and I agree with you. And I think that played a big part as well too when we got those Bitcoin releases, Sean. I believe it was BlackRock, and then another company, someone who had too high of a management fee, and then they kicked him out the door. I can't remember exactly which. Grayscale. So Grayscale, and we know that BlackRock came out with these like iBit, et cetera, but the BlackRock management fees were significantly less, but Grayscale wanted to charge 1.2% or something along those lines when the rest of its peers were at fractions of a percent. So they kicked him out the door and said, you know what, you didn't launch it as successfully as the BlackRock ETF did. So there you go, management fees become a really, really big part of when you are selecting stocks. So guys, keep an eye out for that. Sean, I know you mentioned BITO as well. There's also a thing called tracking error with these ETFs, especially with spot Bitcoin. But BITO, I think, has something along the lines of tracking the future. So it's a little bit different. It offers a ridiculous dividend. I think it's, I don't even remember the percentage, but it's extremely high. I know people in the chat will know BITO. You guys traded it before and collect that dividend. So if you can just remind me of exactly what it was, but it paid hefty, which is a good sign. Our good buddy Yannick, who used to be on the floor, had that, and he was telling me about BITO. But yeah, guys, we're in some NVDA. Let's see if we can get a little pop here. I was looking at Katina Man's screen, and I seen that Bitcoin was popping above 84,000, and it looked like it wanted to climb somewhat higher. We were constructing higher lows, which is a positive sign on IBIT itself, but we're also in some NVDA cracking through this resistance level. Let's see if we can get going. And I mentioned, come 3 o'clock, be aware, guys. Watch out for that level of so now we might get into somewhat of a cover rally as the steam starts to pick up. It's getting we're past 3 o'clock now. If you're short 120 on that open, that high levels of open interest at 120 and you're short there, you got to get out of this trade before you get hit with early assignment, or you get assigned 100, however many contracts times 100 on shares with NVDA. So just be wary with that, because we could get into some squeeze type price action. Yeah, guys, let me know in the chat. I see you guys tagging me some things. What was the dividend that BITO paid out? Because I'm pretty sure it was relatively high, and that's why a lot of people and individuals liked it. Here we go on Bitcoin, slowly climbing higher here, guys. So a nice look as we break through some of these ranges. I mentioned before that we are constructing higher lows, so that is a positive sign for a breakout and a possible move to the high a day. Is it going to happen? I didn't look at the options chain on Bitcoin, but again, I don't think it has as much, it doesn't have such a drastic effect on this underlying asset because it's so widely traded, right? Like with NVDA, there's only one way to access the vehicle. With trading Bitcoin, you got actual spot, so you're going to get the push and pull effect of that, and then you got the inflows with the ETFs, Grayscale, BlackRock, whatever it may be. So I think that has to be implemented into kind of your decision making and your analysis on a day-to-day trading. But one thing that I will note, guys, is that since we got those ETF releases, you can see that the volatility in Bitcoin hasn't been as vast as it was in previous years. Why? Because now you have the ability to hedge, protect downside, and you get more of that pinning style of effect in the underlying asset. Can it get volatile? Absolutely. Has it been volatile? Yes, but I don't think the levels have been as extreme as we previously seen from a history standpoint. So yeah, PLTR 10%. Let's see what everybody's up to here in the chat. Los Pollos, my guy, appreciate that. The Chicken Brothers, we like that. Go NVDA and Palantir. Let's see what Jamie Swan is up to. 350 for BBAI. Again, BITO uses BTC futures contracts, where IBET uses spot. They have to actually hold BTC exactly, Pug Life exactly, and that's what I was referring to. It follows the futures, and then IBET actually has it actually follows spot Bitcoin itself, and then that's where it kind of, there was tracking error because I believe with Kathy Woods, I forget what it's like, ARC B or something,
that's
whatever.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. And then you got the Grayscale and thing, and that's why the BlackRock ETF had the best tracking error. It had the minimal most of tracking error, and that's why you've seen the most inflows come into that specific ETF, all right? But there's multiple vehicles that you can use to trade Bitcoin in an ETF aspect, but IBIT is the best one, and you can see it has the most liquidity from a day-to-day basis. You can wake up and run your scans in the morning, and it has 2-3 million shares traded, opposed to Grayscale and then ARCB not as liquid, okay? So yeah, we'll take a look at that. Continuing to climb higher in IBIT. We'll trim some off here, guys. Oop, what did I do there? Oh, okay, I took a little bit more than what I was expecting, but that's okay. We'll post up there, see if we can catch a fill as it climbs higher and higher. We're also in some NVDA. Are we still squeezing? It looked like we were, so hopefully this momentum can be sustained. That volume is starting to pick up, guys. We can see that on the 1 minute time frame. So yeah, keep that in mind. We'll take a little bit off here just because. I gotta take a look at that. So there we go. We'll post up and see if we can catch a fill here on, there we go, on NVDA. climbing higher. I think the next level is 120, 120. Can we push through that? Possibly. Again, I mentioned the levels of open interest. I'll talk about it a lot, about 76,000 open contracts as of right now at 120. So it's either you're going to be finishing in the money and you want to close that, but if you're out the money, you're at risk of early assignment, especially if participants start to exercise their contracts, okay? So keep that in mind. So that is on NVDA. We'll pull up IBIT one more time for you guys. And if there's anything you want me to go over, feel free to let me know and I shall do so. So we're still posted up there, which is pretty good. So Mark Sushi says, BlackRock now holds over 567,000 Bitcoin valued at 47 billion. GMT for it. Yeah, good. Thank you for that. And that's what I was referring to earlier. So we know Michael Saylor, I forget. Dare, how many Bitcoin does Michael Saylor have?
499.
499? So around 500K. Now, BlackRock has a 500K, so that's a million right there. There's only 21 million coins. The U.S. government has 200,000, and a lot of these Bitcoin miners have 200,000, whatever it may be. So that adds up really quick, and we're not even accounting for what may be on the other side of the world in countries that we don't really necessarily pay too much attention to. So it's like, really, how much is left? We know that about 20 to 30% of all Bitcoin has actually been lost due to wallets, girlfriends throwing out their hard drives in the dumps in England or whatever it may be. So there is a limited amount, and at one point, if there becomes an access demand and we get a new participant stepping in and want to start acquiring this underlying asset, that's when you can start to see that 100% to 200% appreciation in Bitcoins.
Yeah, so there's only 1.04 million Bitcoins left to be mined.
Exactly.
The 21 million, and they're saying that with all the halvings, like you're talking about it, the final Bitcoin should be mined in 2140.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see the reward
2140.
Yeah, exactly. So we won't even be alive at that point.
Well, I might be. But.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, you're Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I'm going to Brian Johnson it up right there.
Brian Johnson.
No, but that doesn't seem right, does it? I mean, I just asked ChatGPT.
No, that's right. No, it's exactly right. I've read that statistic.
115 years from now to mine 1
because
million.
you got to take into consideration the halving.
Right.
So right now, I forget what the reward is, but with every cycle, at that halving cycle, you're going to be collecting like 0.0000 something Bitcoin, right? So that's why it can take a lot, and then that's where the mining rigs come into play as well.
Man, that's why I think you might be correct on all of this. Like, we're basically at peak Bitcoin then,
right? So it's
like
just
right now.
So
because if there's only 1 million, so if there's 20 million out there, and they don't know, nobody knows how many are lost, as you said.
We'll call it 20-30% of what is actually lost. So
that's an uneducated guess.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Like, it could be more, it could be less. Like, I'm just saying that's just our opinion. Like, I have no idea.
No, it's actually around that number. Like, 20% of it is gone and can never be recovered.
How do they know that?
Because once you lose that wallet, then it can never be recovered.
No, I know. So they can look at wallets and basically say this wallet has been dormant.
Exactly. It's been
so
stagnant for the X amount of time, right?
But I mean, what if that's Sharif's wallet and the guy's just not selling it?
I
mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, who is this Satoshi guy anyways, after all that? There was rumors that people thought Satoshi was Elon at one point.
That's crazy.
Is it? Okay, so, I mean, I don't know, probably it is probably pretty crazy. But okay, who knows? All right, I know we were just talking about Nvidia, but we'll go again. We'll take another piece out right there at 121 and change. So that is another out for us there on Nvidia, as we are in the hour of power right now. Any plans this weekend?
No, my buddy asked me to skate, but I'm going to rest the knee.
Oh, how was last night's game?
Bye week, remember I told you bye week?
That's right. Remember,
so yeah, I'm gonna take a rest. So next Thursday we got it. I told you about the dash-in that Selena's looking to get. So we got a meeting with the breeder tonight.
Nice.
So yeah. So we're gonna take a look at that, and yeah, we're gonna have fun. That's
Nah.
Yeah. And then we
okay, hold on a second, my guy.
Yeah.
You ain't taking a look at a puppy.
Yeah, I know.
You are getting.
I know. I'm already
puppy.
in deep.
You might as well, on your way home, you might as well get the crate. You might as well get some food.
Get a couple
the bowls. Get the water ready to go. I've fallen that. I've been fallen into that twice.
I mean,
my pug. It was like, let's just go see if we like them.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
okay.
Bring a couple grand cash with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not even.
Right?
I didn't even go with any cash. I don't think. And then we just went right to the.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went to the ATM and took that out. Is that how much they cost these days? A couple grand?
Yeah.
I guess so. Prices went up on dogs since COVID, but I'm glad that you're going to hopefully a legitimate breeder, not a puppy mill. Don't go to like a store to buy it.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Remember when they used to have that? Puppies in the
they don't do that anymore?
I don't think so. The glass window stuff.
Okay, we're Long Rigetti, by the way. So a little bit of spaghetti here. There goes Rigetti. So let's see what winds up happening now for this name. We are now into it. If we go over here, Ramin, we can show everybody. There it is, breaking $11. We said we'd be here, baby, so let's do it. We are now long Rigetti, looking for some action. It just went to 05s, fine. You know, we'll sit here. We have nothing much to do. We have 45 minutes before we close this show. We were looking at the 50-period moving average anyways. We always like to look at those levels, so look, unfortunately, we put a stop order in. If it breaks 01s, just get us in. And unfortunately, we paid 03s. I would much rather be long at 02s. But, I mean, a little bit of slippage shouldn't be that much of a deal right now. 1 cent, like, you know, 02s versus 03s. Cry me a river. We'll be fine into that one. So 1080s. So I'm going to use still 1085 as our stop. I mean, we could use, let's just use 1079, no big deal, right there. If Rigetti does want to come in and, you know, print us down there, fine. You know what, let's just be exact. I mean, I have, again, I don't want to just sit here and use, you know, an inappropriate amount of, I have an appropriate amount of shares, but if I'm going to follow the rules, let's just do it. If we break the 50-period moving average, what I'm saying is I just don't want to slip underneath, because even losing 6 cents difference, the 50-period moving average really is at 1085. So let's go to 1084 then as a stop. So I'm already going to lose a couple pennies on slippage like we did to get in. I don't want to give up more because I'm getting lazy charting this. And I mean, we didn't really break the 50 period since we broke it here, which was 130. So it's just been straight upside, and we respected it. We respected it again. By the time, like, it's just moved up another penny. You know, in the next minute, when the next candle's done, this will also start to move up higher. So I feel pretty confident in those levels. Let's wait to see as here it comes right back in. Probably, you know, Big Bear AI is flat for us. That came right back in. I think we could probably put a bid down here on Rigetti. Let's just put something, let's put 25% of the shares down here at 92 in case we do get that dip. We've seen a lot of times stocks break. That happened today on Nvidia when it broke 120 the first time. It went to 120.25s, 120.50s before falling back into 119. So it wouldn't be surprised. We talked about the danger of breaking levels in this market, especially high a day, and maybe even especially at 318. We do have the imbalances coming through, but again, hopefully this carries the day there. I think it's worth it, man. There's not too many other trades. Like, in total, we have less shares, but we're quite in the money still there today. I would like for the whole, you know, cohort to start going higher. QBTS is fading off a little bit. IONQ as well. And these could be exhaustion, right? There could be some exhaustion right now, meaning that, like, traders are waiting for the end of the day. They're seeing pullbacks. IONQ just basically false broke as well, 24.50s or so. So, you know, there could be some pullback. I don't feel bad about taking this trade. All right, you know what? I'm going to get out of 25% of this if it comes back to O's. All right, so I'm just going to do that, take a 3 cent hit on 25% because I'm not really feeling like this is... Do we want to give up on it so early, though, Joe? Yeah. No, I'm going to cancel that. We're not going to give up on this one, man. Let's see if it wants to work. I just don't like the fact that, yeah, no, this is not for the bell tolls on this trade, man. I mean, we're fine. We're not pushing too many shares. We just have a couple hundred shares. It's not, you know, I wouldn't hit this with a couple thousand. I wouldn't hit this with a couple thousand shares right now. It's to me, it's a little bit too late in the day to do that. So we'll just wait on what we're doing here and give it, you know, give it a shot. Give me a hug, Rigetti. Give me a hug. All right, so TQQ's $2. This one's still holding out okay. Tesla's the one that we're going to get stopped out on momentarily. If we break 249, that's going to be our stop. We talked about the 200-period moving average. So we could have got out there again at 251. We didn't do that. We're still waiting for higher. Today's been a great day, and we don't want to throw anything away. So let's just keep it going. JP Morgan Chase. This one's working out for us, Joe. I mean, we bought this the other day. It's finally a little bit up. I don't know. I think we bought it 2 days ago, so we may be flat right now. I did buy it as a Canadian CDR, so, you know, most of the money that, because I deposited more in there, tax season, you know, get those RSPs topped up, things like that. So the RSP
max
is
contributions. There.
Exactly. We're trying to max that out. Well, I try to max it out every year for sure if I have enough cash lying around. So we have done that. You have to deposit into your RSPs before it's the end of February, I think, February 28th, I guess. Now that I say that, I think that might be wrong. Is it the end of January? Anyways, you have, no, it's the end of February contributions into your RSP. So we're already maxed out on that. So we put some money to work there on JP Morgan. Looks like the bottom was 225. It's nice to see that move holding forward. I think we might have gone into this a little bit too aggressive, maybe too early. I'm not sure the swoon in bank stocks is over with. And if you, I'm actually going to ask Raider Trader about this. Adair and I will be talking with him at around 4:15 or so today after hours. XLF, again, one of the better ETFs. We know that our guy Sharif was, okay, here we go. Wow, Ramin told me to get out of Rigetti, by the way. Here we go. Now Rigetti's up to 1105, 1106. So let's take out like a quarter of the position, maybe a little bit less than that. If we do touch 06 again, let's take some out there. We're still waiting for a bigger piece at 09, but if, just faded off of that level as well. Should never question that decision of not maybe getting out at 11 there, but we'll see. It has to go. Look, we got to give it, we got to let it slow down, then pick back up again. It actually went to 07s, which is too bad because I didn't notice it. We were waiting at 09s, so I would have loved to have gotten that print out of nowhere there, but we'll wait for it. It's not really giving us the juice off of that level, which means we have to be patient with it. Sometimes you'll get a level break and it will absolutely run and just like get going, right? But I don't think for right now it's the right time of day to, there we go, we'll take some 06s, so whatever, we'll just push. You know what? We made a little bit of, but whatever, it's not a huge amount there. Yeah, for right now, it's an amazing 3 cents, but we didn't even take out of a quarter. We took out 10% there. We have a quarter left at 09. So that's what we want to do. Remember where our stop is, man? Now it's 86s, so we still have 85s as our stop. So that's about 17, 18 cents. So there's no way, like to go 1-to-1 here and take out 7 cents, it's not the right ratio. So let's let it cook, as the kids say these days, or maybe they don't. We'll let it go. See if we can get some upside plays right now on RGTI. Google faded a little bit, but we're still okay. Actually, it's at the 200 period. Okay, so Google, we should get some out now if we can, which we, of course we can. We'll just offer 78s, and there it is. We didn't even get printed there. Okay. Am I on Google? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, it went through us. So there we go. Out some 78s there as now Google tries to go back up. And again, let's just be disciplined. Let's put another offer at 65. So we'll go to 95, and we'll see if we can get some out there as well. Just trying to do what we do best. Look at the lines, hit the trades that we like, and then get out of them. And so far, so good there. We don't have a red name today, Rigetti pending. Big Bear AI, so that name came right back to 350, man. This is the name that we've been in all day, Joe. Well, not all day, but it's on that break at 10:30. Nothing's been happening, and looky what we see here. Maybe we just get out right now on Big Bear AI. There's where we're in at. It has one move over. We took full advantage of that. And those of you that are like, oh man, like you didn't really get that fill. You guys know I was sitting there at 59. We talked about that over and over again. There it is, man. Big. Thanks, Ramin, for the overconfidence there. Rigetti comes out a little bit there, up to 11.10 right now, starting to pump higher. So that's going to be a trade that we gave you so far here in the afternoon. But what about Big Bear AI? What do you guys think in the chat? Does it have a chance? I mean, the volume's dying off here. It's nowhere near where we were earlier. And you know what? I'm talking myself into this. Oops, Big Bear AI is a New York name. I'm going to put an offer right here, right where we're long. See if we get something out at 50s. Let me just close this to show you. We'll offer some 50s. Hopefully we get that fill, and then we'll just work from there. We'll take a penny hit, and then we'll see if it wants to go a little bit higher on that one. Okay, man. Let's go. Where are we exactly looking for, Rigetti? Come on, man, get going. What is QBTS doing? Look, I wish we were 10 cents in the money. Unfortunately, our stop order triggered us a little bit higher than that. QBTS, there we go, too. Okay, good. So maybe it is the cohort that wants to go right now. Quantum names, D-Wave looking to take out 10 bucks, 9.94. We're already long Rigetti. Let's see if that party will work out for us on that side. Look, man, I'm in 5 positions. I keep talking about the same ones. Has anything been happening in the chat? We haven't looked at Peloton yet.
That people want to talk about Peloton, AAPU. Not familiar with that ticker, but we'll pull it up for you. AAPU. Let's see what we got to. Direction. Oh, Apple Pull. It said Okay, so this is interesting. I don't think I've ever traded this vehicle, but it seems relatively liquid here, Sean. It's a 2x Apple leverage product here.
You like those leverage?
Yeah, I like those leveraged ones. You can get a little bit of a discount here, and you get the 2 to 1 percentage-wise. So yeah, let's take a look at it. I mean, it just reflects Apple's price action here. I guess other than to the downside, but you can see it almost took a 50% haircut, closer to 40 here. So we trade 43 all the way down to 23 or 46 there. Sorry. So I mean, a good look. You do have liquidity issues on the lower time frame, so I think you need to take that into account as well. But again, if you have the ability to sit through some of this barcoding and algo type price action, then I think you'll be pretty good. So would you, so Joseph, would you be in profit had you held TSLL? I think so. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what my average price was, but the way it's trading now, I would most definitely. And IBIT as well too. See, the thing is though, when we got that consumer sentiment print come in, then I had to get out. So you can see that I was in up here, and then I get right at the lows, and then you can see that we rallied and ripped higher. So that's why you want to just keep those risk measures in place to give yourself the ability to take multiple shots on your thesis. So yeah, that's it. How's Tesla going, continuing to climb higher here? Sean, I think so. No, breaking down. All right, well, let's see what we got going on with Tesla. So I mean,
stopped out.
See, the thing is though, I mentioned, so there was about equal levels of open interest at that 250 strike price on today's expiration cycle. So take that into account. You can see that we hovered around 249 to 251, and we traded in this range for an extended period of time. So what you need is a participant either willing to grab that liquidity, or all those options are going to kind of just expire worthless. So yeah, PAGS around 215, 217. So Pax, that's what I'm asking you. So you're saying 220 on Apple. You want to see it hit 220 by next week. But again, what I tell everybody in the chat, if you're looking to just flat out buy options contracts, always buy more time, right? Like if you buy an out the money, then I can kind of see what you're trying to build there. You want to get that gamma type squeeze within the underlying asset as it starts to trade in the money or get closer to at the money, because that's when gamma is at its greatest. But in order for Apple to get to 220, I think you need a little bit more time than a week, all right? So I talked about some fundamental headwinds possibly for Apple as well. So I'm not going to say no, because we are in that oversold territory. Sean, I know you use the RSI quite often. I take a look at the put to call ratio for the overall index, but you can also just gauge the options market as well too, right? So Pax, when you want to look at 220, tell me where you see those highest levels of open interest, and if it's attractive to you and you see a lot north of 220 by the end of next week, then by all means do so. But again, you want to pay attention to some of those key levels and just give yourself more time, especially when you're just purchasing those contracts. Myself, I mentioned this to you guys a while ago. I was playing a gap fill on AMD, and I'm like, hey, I like the momentum in AMD, and it's surprisingly to the top side. I'm like, let me buy this contract. And then sure enough, it just, I was willing to risk it, but it just expired worthless, and I didn't give myself enough time in order for it to fill that whole gap. And there's nothing more frustrating than trading options and not giving yourself more time. Now, options writing is a totally different factor when you allow time to work in your favor and you just slowly collect premium day after day, and especially when that underlying asset doesn't close in the money. But when you're buying, I'll say it one more time, make sure you give yourself enough time. You're going to pay more money, but it's worth it in the long run because you have more leeway now. So yeah, guys, let me know what you're looking at in the chat. We'll go over a couple names. Hold or sell Nvidia for the weekend. I like it for an oversold bounce, to be honest with you. But I also like your point as well too, Sean. It's a sneaky quiet about 10-15% off of these lows on NVDA. So we'll pull it up here and get an exact measurement to see what we are off that 105 bottom, and 16% to where we're currently sitting at. So a nice bounce here. You don't see that in a lot of the other tech names, so I'm glad that you get this rebound. The market seems to want to participate, and that's what we want to look for. We want to get these oversold bounces, and then you're going to start to see some buyers start to participate in these rallies to the top side. I mentioned 120 on the options chain as well, 276,000 open contracts, which can be an attractive number, and you can see that for a large part of today's session. If I zoom in and take a look at some of the lower time frames, that we've been just trading in that range for the better part of an hour or so now. So yeah, that's my take on NVIDIA. I think if it starts to recover, then it's going to be a positive sign for the market. But you can see from approximately, that's in the wrong time zone. So from lunchtime till currently now, we've been trading around that 220, and that's where that options chain is telling you that we're going to hover around. So, yeah. That's it on NVIDIA. When is a good idea to roll an options contract? Well, yeah, I like that question. It's very vague. So I'll use an example.
Is that why you like it?
Yeah, right, slightly vague, but yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna put it into my own terms. When do we like to roll options contract? All right, so I'm gonna use an example that I used previously on the show. All right, so we know that we have heightened volatility, right? So we know with that comes heightened options premium, and the chances of your options contract closing in or out the money is vastly greater. So what are we going to do? When do we want to roll? So say I'm an options writer. What do I mean by options writer? I'm going to sell some options. What I want to do is I want to go further dated out. Okay, so I go further dated out. I collect some premium. I still like the thesis, but I just want to decrease my gamma exposure. So I'm just going to roll out to a further date again. So I own a monthly contract. It's going to expire in 1 month. I hold it for 2 weeks. I collect some premium. I close that contract, and then I just roll it out to a month contract once again, and then just rinse and repeat. So hopefully that answers your question. That's when I believe it's a good idea to roll contracts, is when you are on the writing side. What do you got going on, Katina, man?
Yeah, no, Rigetti is finally starting to go. So we just got a 14 fill rate there. And so as you could see, I mean, again, you guys do you, but, you know, this is the thing. Like now, the 50-period moving average is at 91. So right now, we cannot lose. We are in that space right now where we are trading with house money. We actually only have half left. We just got a nice fill there at 15, which now gives me that 1-to-1. So, I mean, if it comes crashing back in, I guess we could wind up losing. But as long as we get like even one more out up here, I'm actually waiting at 18s, see if we can get that fill. But yeah, I mean, so far so good here as Rigetti just keeps on going higher. Like, I hope I'm showing right now some of the versatilities that we do have here, because like I'm long futures, I'm long Nvidia, long Google. We just got stopped out of Tesla. We're also long Big Bear AI. We're also now long Rigetti. Like it don't matter, man. Midday show, afternoon show, whatever. I'm here to trade it all. And we're going to try to trade some movements. Let's go. Give me that fill right here at 18. I'm on a paying gateway. So hopefully it has to rip through us. I could just go on, I should maybe go on BYX here or BossX or something and get paid. There it is. Yes, sir. We don't need to do that. Let's go. Let's moon.
Dang. That boy, my guy.
I mean, shout out to everybody that's out there, man. This is what we're doing. We're doing it every day. We're doing it live, Joe. We're doing it every day. I love having you here. Obi, Neil, it don't matter who's here. I'm going to be who I am every single day, and it's been working out. And there it goes. Look at this trade on Rigetti. We just punched long $11. It's at $11.20 right now. Sure, I told you we just had a couple hundred shares, but at the end of the day, man, maybe this will pay for some Mandarin tonight. Who knows? But it's a nice move to the upside right now. Yeah, we like that. We like that. But we did get stopped out of our Tesla. We're over 200 handles still on this trade. Tesla breaks the 200-period moving average. We do what we do right there and get out of that one. Look, we can adjust our stops now on Rigetti, but at the end of the day, okay, 1095, let's just do it. There goes Rigetti upside, almost turning this not even into a possible loser at this point. So there it goes. Nice move upside. We're glad we put that on for you, and we're glad that you guys were putting it in the chat. We wanted to take some quantum names. QBTS, let's go over to the king today as well, see what that's doing. Not even really, it's fine, but I mean, I feel better about Rigetti right now and where we are on that name. I'm not going to get into double quantum in case we do come on. That's more like a quantum leap.
Quantum.
Doesn't matter. All right.
I got it.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening right now. Maybe we'll put out some more on Rigetti at these levels. Again, it's a nice move up. It is having a little bit of a problem. We'll offer some 18s right here. Hopefully we get that fill. Our best fill is 18, so we don't want to like, you know, talk too much about like, oh yeah, we just got it again. All right, let's take a 5% at 19 if it gives it to us. And then what about 25s? Remember, we did that work on Rigetti too, right? So we just got some 19s where we were looking at, oh no, I guess it has to be the daily. We were looking at the daily the last time we broke 11. We had, you know, it was at 11.25 back on the 21st of February, so about 3 weeks ago, but we did get as high there as 12.50 and so on. So maybe there is room to run here for RGTI. Let's see if we can do that one more time. So, okay, here you go. What does this say here? I'm just going to read this. I have no idea. What's up, D. Dwyer? Because you tagged me properly, so that's good. See what happens when you tag it, then it shows this orange, so we can all see it. Much easier there. Show your solid... Did I just get filled on something? Oh yeah, we got Rigetti 19s. Okay. Show your solidarity with Tesla protesters. Okay, I don't know which side I'm on this protest. Who are freaking being arrested. Oh, by Pam Bondi. Isn't that in Florida? Isn't she in Florida there? Pam Bondi. Isn't she the DA down there? I don't really know the story about that. Why are people getting arrested there? Look, if you're not peacefully protesting, I mean, we've been going back and forth with this. I do believe in the right to protest and to voice your opinion and to be heard and to voice your opinion without confrontation or police involvement and all that, free speech, everything. But if it gets violent, then I would be on the side of the law, I think. I mean, I don't want anyone to get hurt here necessarily, but I don't know the story there. So maybe let's go Rigetti. We're trying to have some diamond hands here again. Let's see if we can go, man. We're 20 cents in the money. U.S. Attorney General. Okay, so the U.S. Attorney General. Okay. I don't really know what they're up to there, but if it's a violent protest, then I would not be behind the protesters. Yeah. And I don't really know what like, are they protesting Elon's political alliances? I don't know. Adara will have the story for us, I'm sure, momentarily. All right, Google's at this level right now. Let's just get out. Do you
want me to do it? Okay, e-signal, who's doing it?
I can do it. You can do it. Why did you hit my
up there?
I don't have it up either. I just talked about it. Okay.
E-signal. Yeah, I know you can wing it though. Wing it there, my guy.
Why don't you wing it?
Okay, well, start it back again here. E-signal traders, listen up, guys. This is what you want to be a part of. Trade smarter, not harder, all right? This is what you want to find: infinite data, unlimited resources, back testing, multiple charts, everything you need all in one platform. E-signal is the tool that you want. Try that elite experience. Trade smarter, not harder, guys. E-signal, all in one package. I know Sean uses it all the time. You know Sharif's using it all the time. Sign up now, e-signal, trade smarter, not harder.
See, Joe, that's what we do, man. You know, like,
good, no?
you have the great.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, I feel like your confidence level wasn't the highest, and now it should be extremely high.
There we go.
Because that was a great read. Oh boy, man, it's a chicken dinner winner right here for Rigetti. Now 11:22. Man, we are on one today. It's been a great week. I hope everyone's had a great time. It's 3:37 already.
Yep.
Power hour trade right there for Rigetti. Seems to be going a little bit higher. What's up, Adara?
Donald Trump just began speaking here. President Trump now speaking at a Department of Justice event. He just took the stage. Here is the market kind of topping around right now, but it is worth noting Donald Trump just hitting the podium now at this DOJ event after a long introductory speech there by Pam Bondi. Keep an eye on this. I will let you guys know if anything of note is said. Back to you.
That is, there will definitely be listening to what old Donald has to say there with the DOJ meeting. But Patrick DeVille, we're going to answer your question here right now. We were talking about rolling contracts. I think you're in a perfect scenario because you just told me that you're down 50% in those, and you're looking for, what was it, I believe, 580 on the SPY by, what is it, January, March, April 30th. So the fourth month, April 30th. Again, so what you want to do, if you're down 50% on those, you can just close those contracts. You can still have the same strike price, but just extend their expiration cycle so theta doesn't dwindle and deteriorate the value of them as quickly, right? So the closer you get, the quicker theta is going to pick up. And then you also have a lot less gamma exposure, so therefore your delta is not going to fluctuate as much. Hopefully I'm not getting too ahead of myself for you, but that's what I would do. If you're down 50% in those, close them up, roll it out farther dated, and then that way you can just give yourself a little bit more breathing room. I know you have it in April. Go middle of the summer, go the 6th month or the 7th month of the year. And that way it's not going to chew up the value of those contracts that much. You're going to pay a little bit more, but it's worth it because you're not going to be stressed out about losing all of the value of those contracts to theta. All right, so hopefully that helped you with that question. We're still in some NVDA waiting for this squeeze. I think the imbalances are going to be interesting on this one, Sean, just because of that 120 strike price. Sorry, I'm in IBIT, but I still believe that NVDA is going to be interesting around 120, 121. We are hovering around those areas, which I think is really important. I can't pull up my IBIT options chain, but I'm glad that we put in a 6% day here in this this underlying asset. I think it needed it. We need some more confidence, and I like what Sean was saying earlier, just being like, hey, why can't we be a little bit more positive about the current economic? I mean, GDP is still there, maximum employment. I understand that the debt ceiling is relatively high, and you don't want to continue to lift it, and you need to get that maintained. But as for people keeping their jobs, it's still there. Dual mandate coming into full effect here with Jerome Powell and crew. So yeah, I mean, I'll hit the stuff there. I don't have it for the Jerome Powell, but again, don't get too ahead of ourselves. I think the market has slightly overreacted here. So again, we'll be patient, let things wave out. We're going to get that oversold bounce. Things are looking positive. Will it be as deep as we expect it? I don't think so, because of the momentum to the downside was there, but it might be a little bit slower of a grind. I like what Michael Noss said this morning as well too. We can finish like plus minus 2 or 3%, whatever it may be, but he's still a buyer at some of these lows. And it's funny because, as I say, the third year of a bull market is relatively choppy, but it's not like every third year of a bull market has tariffs looming or something. So the market will find something in order to overreact to. It does it time and time again, and it will continue to do so. Whether it be good news is bad news or bad news is good news, we go through market cycles, and that's the cyclicality effect that we sit here in the day-to-day markets here, Sean.
Cyclicality, I like that. All right, we only have 15% left of Rigetti. Rigetti just went for a little bit of a dip down. Our worst out is 08s there. We did get a 12. We could show you guys here. We'll zoom in a little bit here. Rigetti just pulled back a little bit there. I feel like it could sell off if anybody didn't get out. I mean, we got out of, that's why we only have 15% left. I mean, we only got out of like 20, 25%, not even at 10s. And then most of it up here. Look at all these outs. And we keep on rejecting that 11, 11, 25. But we didn't get a great price. We got 10% out there, 10% out there. So we got some out at 8s or 9s, it looks like. And then some out at 13s. So right where we are right now. So I just want to keep everybody sort of in with that, and just to talk about what we're trading, because right now Rigetti did dip down. So I just want to tell you, like, I'm not immune to, you know, getting bad fills or panicking a little bit. And right there, $11.16. I have one waiting at $11.18. Let's put another offer there at $11.16 and see if we can get something out of that trade. Hopefully we can. All right, let's just start to wrap this thing up. I mean, the TQs right now, nice move in. We have a very, very small piece. We did break through the 200 period moving average. We saw yesterday everything about these stop orders and everything hitting at 350. I'm out. We're going to take that out right now. What a great trade that was for me anyways on the TQQs. We'll take 200 handles there at the end of the day. We only have 2 fills. Man, I mean, this is Michigan sentiment right there. So when that came in, we knew we wanted the pre-market low. We've been talking about 59 all morning. So when that filled up again, we took another shot right there for 50 cents worth of risk to take 200 cents. That's pretty good at the end of the day. We actually have some better fills there. So this futures trade will be my P&L number 2 on the day. It's actually better. We actually have more money on the futures than we do on Tesla. And Tesla was a pretty good trade today, that's for sure. As you can see, our Tesla trade, double buys right down there, upside. We did put a few more shares in on the TQs just because we had a little more faith in the NASDAQ than we did in this name. Tesla was coming in pretty good there right at the end. So we'll sell off right there at the 200 period, giving us a good day on that. And there's Rigetti. Oh boy, oh boy. Bang! I'm glad we did not. So I was starting to not doubt myself, but when Rigetti didn't, well, a little bit, when Rigetti didn't break 11 there, it did, but it only went like 2 pennies and then came back in. Remember, I was like, let's get out of a quarter for flat. We didn't wind up doing that, obviously, and that turns out to be the right decision as we just dropped down on big selling. That candle did make me nervous. It didn't make me get out of 20% at not great prices, but there it is, man. We'll take out a couple more, 5% each one of these. Now we only have, actually we have 10% left, so my math must have been a little bit off there. 10% left on Rigetti, and our stop is now right where we're long. So let's change that. We told you from the beginning, and I hope some of you, you know, Joe, this is what I mean by those that can't do sometimes teach, but we're doing and teaching at the same time. And I know you're doing that with options as well and your trades. And it's like, we talked about this 50 period moving average. You'll see lessons of the day. You'll see all these different videos that we put out. Watch these lines, watch this, but this is in action right there. Look at the 50 period, right? The better position, it's too bad I wasn't on this here because that's the long. right into here, trying to see if it holds. Unfortunately, we play momentum upside, take that as our target out, and there it goes, nicely done to the upside there for Rigetti. We ain't got a negative name today. Big Bear AI, so there's a 50. I don't know if you can see that we do have an out right there as well, but
Sorry, Jerome.
not yet, Jerome.
Not right yet.
Not yet. You're coming next week, my guy. He's next week Wednesday. We'll see.
Sorry.
He can call in then.
We'll call him later. We'll tell him we'll call him back. Maybe
I'm busy tonight. Yeah, well, we can talk to him next week. When it gets a little bit closer to the decision. You know, maybe we'll have Jerome Powell live on here. Maybe he'll leave the podium and come right on Twitter.
And just finish it over here. Bang.
Boom. Then he's happy. Gets that foul. Gets that call there.
Foul. Let's go. But yeah, guys, here we go.
We could have
good times. I'm glad. I'm having a great time sitting beside Katina, man. It's the third time actually. So who's counting me? Maybe, I guess. But anyways, I bit continuing to break down, but it went in. It traded relatively well, and I'm seeing somebody in the chat say, "Hey, Bitcoin finally put in a half decent day in what feels like a century," and it does. You can see these consistent consolidation phases, guys, and I talk about the same thing time and time again. It sucked to sit through all of this, right? Like, this is not fun. It's like, what is going on, and then why isn't the move being sustained, right? Instead, we climb higher, enter a new consolidation phase, break lower, now consolidating again, but a nice 6% day here in this underlying, in the ETF, is a positive sign, and I think we can start to rebound, especially with that stockpile going on. And I mean, guys, we only got about 14 minutes left in the chat. John Von Sawyer says, great job, Ramin. You're doing fantastic. So thank you for that. I don't know how, and so is Fabian too. Fabian's doing a good job. So yeah, there you go. You get the shot of that. Trump is not saying anything.
I mean,
Market
Fabian's
moving
doing
says,
all right.
Yeah, Fabian's doing all right. He's a Chilean, so we'll give him. I mean, he's the nightmare, so he's doing a lot back there. So always doing a good job coming up with the animations and everything.
That's right. Get him, Fabian.
Get him, Fabian.
Look at that. Look at that look
there
right
you go.
there.
So watch out, man.
Look at those pupils, man. As white as ever, those guys. What are you guys doing over there?
Yeah, what are they doing? Yeah, they were giggling and stuff. Someone in the chat said they're not really doing it. I'm like, yeah, what's going on back there? And I work here. I'm like, yeah, they're giggling, having a good time. So yeah,
I mean, we're kind of having a good time.
It looks like a 90s music video. You know, when they get real close to the camera and everything along those lines. Yeah. I like when he does the BTS as well too.
We love the behind the scenes.
I know you like the behind the scenes.
Yeah, we post it up on our Instagram all the time.
There you go. So yeah, so here we are, guys. Continuing. See, so we didn't get that volume that we were expecting to step in, especially with Nvidia and Tesla, and what we've seen from an option standpoint. But the levels came highly into respect. And same with, we were talking about it with Meta and some of the overall indices, is that look out that in the morning, do your due diligence, pull up that options chain and look for those high levels, especially on those 0 DTE contracts. You can see what can attract the market, and that's the objective, right? That's what you want to find out. You're going to set out your levels. Sean does it in the morning. Neil does it. He posts the sticky note. They're getting prepared in the morning. Run your scans. Do whatever you may have to do, because they will come into play, and there's a reason why you see those high levels of open interest. So yeah, thank you guys for everything. Let's see what else we got going on. Give me a couple tickers. We'll run over them. IBIT starting to come back in. We'll hold it through the break of this. If it doesn't, I do think we can come and test 48.35. That would be this high, this local high right now. But again, we only got 12 minutes left in the day, so not too worried about that. Looking forward to Monday already, and the weekend hasn't even relatively started. I know I got a meeting tonight for a dog, apparently, so I got to sit through that.
Don't say apparently. Come on, my guy. You know exactly.
I know you like the apparently.
You guys have been talking about this for
I have
how
not,
long?
Sean. I promise.
What, this
you,
is a
Sean.
relatively new thing?
Well, no, now I have to actually go with it, go through with all the plans.
Right.
All I get is wiener dogs on my text all day. It's just wiener dog after wiener dog.
Why does she like wiener dogs so much? Did she grow up with them, or?
Yeah, her brother has a couple of them, and she just thinks they're cute. They're like mini. She wanted a blonde one because they're like mini golden retrievers and everything like that.
A wiener dog is not a mini golden retriever.
She thinks they look like it. They look like it, kind of, right?
What?
Wiener dogs?
Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong dog.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. They were like groundhogs and stuff like that. Fabian. They were like a German ground hunting dog or something along those lines. A European one, anyway. So they go under. That's why they're little and narrow, so they can go underground and catch all the weasels and the groundhogs or whatever it may be. So yeah, Meta. Let's go over Meta because we haven't talked about it too much. Yeah, Dashin. Yeah. See, there you go. They're like.
Okay, so you said that this looks like what?
No, so go to a blonde one. You got to check out the blonde.
I mean, this is as cute as hell, but I don't know about this one.
It's like
blonde?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
They have.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. I get it.
So you get the like a mini golden retriever. Yeah.
Cute.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
what we're.
Hey man, no matter what kind of dog you get, I'm telling you, like.
It's a yeah.
Yeah,
I love them.
my puppy, she's 5 years older now. Her Belle, she's a cockapoo.
Yeah.
She is something else, man.
Yeah, you love it.
She will wait there for me to come home. If I open the door and she sees me coming in, she'll run out, and the squeals, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll get my
They
wife.
go to the bathroom on themselves sometimes when they get.
Yeah, as a puppy for sure. She's always just lying on her back.
Yeah,
like, it is nuts.
exuberant,
I'll see if I can get some videos for you on that one. But what the hell? The imbalances are out.
Yeah, let's go,
pardon
let's
my
go.
French.
Oh, wow.
All right, so here we go, second year. I got to actually sort these out because I need to just sort them out for. Wow, we were getting out of everything anyways, and I made the mistake of not interrupting you and let people know. But okay, Intel's a bid right now. SMCI's a buy. It doesn't look like there's too much going on. Let's click on Intel. Look, this is why we need to be very, very careful and conscious of what's going on in these imbalances because there's the move right back up, right? Adara just dropped it in our chat, so thanks, Adara. The market is right now 607 million to buy, with the NASDAQ themselves half of that. So it's basically half-half right now between S&P 500 or NYSE names and NASDAQ names. Intel with the big move there. TLT, who cares? Pfizer is not doing anything. SMCI is a name that many people might have. That's a bid as well. So let's see, not moving around. Peloton was a stock we didn't talk too much about today, up 14%. We were talking about this earlier, so good look there by Sharif and Brendo, Adara and all that for putting this on the watch list. It does look like Peloton does have a nice move to the upside right there. All right, just real quick, man. We got out of the TQs. We got out of pretty much all of Google, but now that Google's going back up to the upside, let's just get out of the rest of this right now on Google and just exit out of it. We'll offer 25s. Hopefully we get that fill. It looks like we will, and there it is. We get 25s. Basically the high of the day on Google. That's 164.20, 165.20. You know what that means. It's a spaghetti kind of day right now as there goes Rigetti. We're going to get some out at 22s right now. 22, 22, 22. One less than Adara's 21 right there, so or one more than. So we'll get some out there at 22, so that's going to be a good call for us. Nvidia is
Quick maths.
$2 in the money right now on Nvidia, but we're gonna get out, no, there it is, okay, good, we get out at 21 for $3 on that one as well, so that's a good trade there into the end of the day, 121 and change coming through. The only thing left is BBAI. You know what? I am going to BB tap out of this name right now because there's nothing happening over here. And we don't want to take a loss. We've already got out of half right there for 9 cents. Wait a minute. We're long at 51s, 8 cents. We got out at 59. Our other piece we got out right here at 50s. So let's just spend the time now, get some out here at 50, call it a day, get them all out there. Rigetti's is kind of chilling out. That will be the only name that we have left. So we'll put the offer there, get out of Big Bear AI, and then just see what happens with Rigetti into the close. We can adjust our stops 11.10. I might just even, okay, whoops, there goes Big Bear AI. We are now, okay, just to show you, Big Bear AI just ran everything at 50 right there, so we get out. This MIAX, that's just another gateway, rarely used gateway, MyX there. We'll see what winds up happening, but I think we were sitting on BATS, which is Z, so that's gone, so we are now out there. It's showing purple because I still left my offer up here, which indicates that it's a short sell, but it's not. All right, high of the day for Rigetti, man. We punched this long about 45 minutes ago. It's a topper today, topping it off. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm going to get ready to go over there in just a couple minutes. So,
Anytime, brother.
you already talked about your plans this weekend, so that's great. Congratulations on the dog. Do you guys have a...
I don't have it yet.
You do have it, trust me. Have you picked out a name yet?
Yeah, Rupert, I think is.
Okay,
yeah,
you know what?
Rupert,
Honestly,
I mean?
Joe,
Listen.
I like you a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's clear. I think everybody knows that. But you just said we don't have a dog yet, and then I go, "What's its name?" Its name is Rupert.
Well, I have
like you already. No, you don't have a
not
choice.
me,
Correct.
dude. Trust me.
I know.
No, but this is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Stop saying you don't have a dog.
Okay, this is what I'm hearing. I'm opposed to it, just from a schedule standpoint.
Right, I
but
understand.
apparently, it's the people who are opposed to it the most who will end up caring about it the most, and I feel like that's the situation I'm going to end up in. I'm going to be frank.
So it's going to be a male dog.
It's a male dog.
Okay, yeah. You're going to. It doesn't matter the sex of it, but you're going to Did you grow up with a dog?
I did, a King Shepherd, a German Shepherd.
Oh, okay, so you know the game.
Yeah,
so,
I
okay,
know
yeah,
how
you're
it
gonna
works,
love
right?
it, dude. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
love it.
will.
Congratulations to you and Selena. I think that's going to be a great addition
Yeah.
to your household.
There you go.
But
Or
just
we'll
the
see
two of
me-
you guys together?
Yeah, just the
Okay,
two.
yeah, you'll be fine, man.
Yeah,
You'll be
we're
fine.
not,
That's gonna be great. Congratulations on that. I can't wait to hear the stories. Make sure you do take some pictures of it.
We will. I mean, we're not getting it anytime soon. We got to have a meeting with the breeder.
Oh no, you're getting it ASAP. It's just a matter of when that is.
It's ready. Okay, so we're at the depth of it. It's ready on April 14th or something along those lines.
All right, so you're not getting it yet. You know the exact date it's ready and all that stuff. Okay, I get it. Well, congratulations again on your new family member. Okay, so Rigetti's still going higher. I might as well just start to clean out of this one now. I would like for it to continue, obviously. We'll take some out here at 25s. There we go. Did we get that? Nope. All right, we'll see if we can get it here. We'd like to see a little bit of a blast through on Rigetti. Oh. You see how the size comes and goes? Like, I'm not on the dark pool. Maybe I should be there. Pretty much everything that's printing is either at the half levels or some sort of a shaved level there. And what I mean by that is, like, see all this? There, did we just get that? Yes, we did. Okay, good. So we can only get out once greens print, like actual 25s print. So we actually just got a print there. This is how much volume goes through dark pools. I mean, those of you that hate Citadel, Robinhood, all that routing, all that stuff, you see it right here, right now. I mean, look at this. These are all half prints or quarter points. What they're doing is they're taking your orders, they're routing them out, they're shaving them, they're getting the better price and passing you on the difference. But whatever, that's been well documented. Everybody can go find out all about that and the wonderful world of routing orders. Okay, so there it goes through 26s. We'll see what winds up happening on that. And yeah, good trade to end the day. With only 3 minutes left, I hope everyone does have a fantastic weekend. We will be back to regularly scheduled programming with Mr. Robert's Neighborhood. He's coming back, obviously, on Monday, so that should be a little fun there. We'll have a good time with Neil. We have had a great time with you, Joe, of course, and thank you for filling in. Thank you for putting in all the work over the last couple of days. I mean, you were basically 8:30 to 4 o'clock. And I'm sure if I asked you to join me tonight, you probably would as well. So thank you so much for all of that. All right, I'm out of here.
There you go, my friend.
Take us home.
I will.
These last couple minutes, guys. You know what? Show some appreciation in the chat for this guy, man. Joe's been absolutely great. Thank you so much, Joe. I'm going to go back over and get ready for the recap.
There you go, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we can go on about this all day, guys. It would not be as easy if it wasn't for you guys in the chat. I love coming in and talking to the regulars and even the new joiners as well, too. So just engaging in the chat, sitting beside individuals like Sharif and Sean, working with Adara and the production team, just having that good, healthy environment. Brando sitting behind us as well, too. It makes the day a lot easier. And my guy Branko's over at the big on the bridge as well. Get to talk to him for a little bit. But yeah, just having a good work environment just makes everything so much easier. And then obviously engaging in the chat with you guys, it's fun and it's great to be able to wake up, look forward to talking to you guys, see what you guys are up to. So I don't want to make all of your heads too big going into the weekend, but it's the truth. So yeah, much appreciated from every single one of you guys in the chat, all 4,700 who are watching. Yeah, it's a privilege and an honor, and I enjoy it. So, but yeah, guys, let's talk a little bit about the market before we end this day. And I was talking, again, I sound like a broken record about NVDA and just utilizing the options chain to our advantage. So what did we have? We had a lot of open interest at 120. So now that we're nearing the end of the day, what happens? Now you get that cover rally. You're squeezing. People need to cover their shares. They need to close those contracts. And with that, you have to accumulate some shares. So now if you're selling, you need to close it, close it, close it. You're buying back, you're buying back, you're buying back. And then that's when we get that dollar move here going into the close. Yeah, the imbalance is there, but why is the imbalance there? You got to look into the options market and be able to identify those things. So yeah, no, thank you, Suki, much appreciated. Anthony Vitali, thank you. Okay, I'm not going to say that one, but thank you. I almost let that one slip, but that is okay. Yeah, thank you, Al H, and I can go through this whole list, all the ones. Ryan A, just do it, okay, channeling your inner Shia LaBeouf there. Normal special, yeah, your pure class, thank you for that one. Craig Schaefer, thank you once again, everybody. Professor Love, Thomas, who else do we got? Oh, you said it again, I can't say all. And then Epic Strategy, an OG, Epic, Escape Planet. You know what's funny? Escape Planet, When I read your name out, there's this channel on YouTube called Escape Tracks, and it's all like mixes in like R&B tracks, songs, and that's what I really like. So when I see Escape Planet, I think of Escape Tracks, so that one's near and dear to the heart. We are running, oh, I didn't hit the countdown, 20 seconds, I gotta find it here, okay. I got it ready. When we hit that 10-second mark, we're gonna, oh, it's already too late. Your boy is behind the ball. We're gonna continue Adara on the bell. Once again, thank you guys. Nvidia closing north of 120. That's gonna be a positive sign for us here in the overall market, as we were down significantly, now up 5% here in NVDA. We like that sign. A lot of the big names finishing positive. Tesla up 3.8%, the Q's up 2.3%, SPY up 2%. Should we go through the whole Mag 7? What's Meta up here, guys? We'll take a look at that. Microsoft and Google as well, too. So Meta, we got up about 2.8%. What's Google up on the day here? We'll pull this one up. Google, and Google up, one of the weaker ones, 1.6% on the day. So yeah, thank you, ones. We're gonna do some more shout outs, guys. Hopefully everybody has a good weekend and had a solid week. Don't ruin anything. I know there's no earnings or anything along those lines. If you had a bad week, don't worry. We'll be back here on Monday and you'll be able to join us and have some more fun and just get that community-like feel. And that's what we're here for. We want everybody to feel involved and enjoy their time trading. We know that it can be a lonely game, especially if you're retail trading and you're at home all alone. It's like, hey, what's going on? I'm a little bit bored, but you can just tune in with us, have a little bit of fun, talk the markets and everything like that. But with that being said, everybody, I had a fantastic time sitting here at the desk, had a fantastic week with everybody here, Sean, Brando, Adara, and the production team. Let's see what they are up to with the aftermarket recap.
Yeah, my bad, I don't. Hey, everybody, how's it going today? It's been a great, fantastic day. Thank you, Joe, for covering again. And we're here into the market recap show. It's been a crazy week, man. I mean, we're exhausted for sure. I mean, lots of trades throughout the whole week. We had you on the show today as well. Thank you for covering.
That was a nice.
And by the way, everybody that was hoping for longs today, I mean, you're wearing green.
I am. The Adara outfit indicator.
I mean, we didn't even bring that up.
And its accuracy with the green is a lot less accurate than its accuracy with the red. Like red, we're 100%. If I wear that red blazer, RIP the market, that has not been proven wrong as of yet.
Oh, really?
So I'm sure someday it will. But this green does not always work. Today, though, it did.
Yeah, you did great. I mean, all day pretty much the market was in rally mode. I mean, we don't necessarily go out at the highs, I don't think. No, we actually, that imbalance there at the end of the day kind of sent us a little bit southbound there. But yeah, all day though, the market kept on going. We did get a weaker than expected Michigan sentiment number, which was surprising considering that we had positive returns from the CPI and the PPI, but then was faded the rest of the day. So, oh, I thought Armina was like, wrap it up. She's just putting her arm like this right now, doing some stretching. I was like, we just started. So that held out today. Look at this, man. I'm sure there's some red sectors. I just don't see any right here. XLK, XLE, energy up, right? Great to see energy up. Look where energy is at the end of the day. So those of you that have been dip buying some of this trade, we talked about Chevron, we talked about XOM, and look at this, man. Sometimes it's not even about the macro story. It is about technicals. You just come in, buy some of these bottoms, get rewarded. Nicely done there on energy, as we do have. I'm a little surprised that we're going upside on the price of oil in some of these names, considering that Putin, I believe, has come close to thinking about maybe pausing this war. Wasn't there a ceasefire that was sort of discussed there?
There have been a million ceasefires sort of discussed,
I don't know what
Sean. I wish that we had like more clarification. Even like yesterday when we had a little bit of a pop in the market midday, Vladimir Putin's like, oh yeah, we're okay with the ceasefire. And then he's like, oh, but we have questions. And we need this and this and this. And then we had Donald Trump saying that he talked to Putin, and then apparently he didn't talk to Putin. It was his team, but he said we, which made people think it was him. So then the White House had to be like, well, Trump never talked to him. It was just his envoy. So the point I'm trying to make is it's a very muddly little story. But I think generally both sides want a ceasefire, or they're saying they want a ceasefire, action towards ceasefire.
It's a fluid situation, and
that's the best way of putting it, Sean.
Yeah, well, why, thank you. All right, so just looking at the week here, what a cover-up today was. I see some people in the chat talking about, you know, maybe this was a fake rally. I do think it could be a little bit of a bull trap. Like, all we've done really is just came back, gave back, covered up Wednesday, So if we close and hold here, that's Wednesday, that's Thursday. You know, the pain really started Monday with a monster move to the downside there. Kind of a continuation there on Tuesday, bumped up, but still remained red. I don't know even why that candle would be red on there, but then we have this move back in, big red candle there, finishing the day near the highs for 80. So we'll wait to see what happens on Monday. I'd still like, before we sort of, I'm not going to be sounding the all clear anytime soon, but obviously we'd like to get back above the 200 period moving average on the NASDAQ. Let's just have a quick look at what the SPY has done so far. Again, very, very similar. The SPY and NASDAQ actually mimicking each other, finishing the day near Wednesday's open. So we'll wait to see if this is a cover up. And again, kind of funny that we had CPI, PPI, and then today's worst number actually gives us that bump. I mean, you brought us today many different situations where Trump was on the mic. I feel like he was on the mic in that last hour there.
In the mic in like the last 45 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, the market kind of, I didn't see too much dramatic reaction to that as he talked with Bondi and the district attorneys. Of course, we talked about that. So now we'll wait to see their attorney general there, Pam Bondi. We got that confirmed at the end of the day that he was talking with her, holding a conference. Or
there's some kind of conference. I haven't said anything about it because he said nothing market moving. He has said, honestly, nothing that he hasn't really said before. He's just saying a lot about the Department of Justice and FBI in one room, and then naming like literally everybody on the team.
So the other thing today was I didn't really hear too much tariff talk. So today we finally get a little bit of a break between Carney, Trudeau, his predecessor there, Mark Carney. So they didn't really get together too much today. I didn't hear too much on the tariff talk, and you could see what the market did, right? They completely ignored all of that. We get back to the basics. People are buying the dips. And in names that they bought the dips in today, we had some great trades on Tesla. We were able to get long right down here, man, on Tesla today. So that was a huge trade. Closes near the highs of the day. It's nice to see a little bit of a retracement back in on Tesla, up 4%. So that's finally, nice move there for Tesla. But, you know, what is one-day chart does not make a stock, as you can see. We'll see, though. We'd like to get this again. Everything back above the 200 period, Adara, and I think we can breathe a little bit more of a sigh of relief. But right now, tariffs still on everybody's mind. This is what happens when you get a day off from tariff talk, honestly. Everything, XLF is upside, right? The consumer discretionary ETF, XLY, everything that's been getting pumped, today's a relief day. Let's see if that can carry forward to Monday. I'm not sure. I didn't look out. I know we have Fed next week. I'm not sure what sort of economic releases.
Mostly just Fed. It's kind of a sleepy week other than Fed. But you can check on X. Thank you so much to Bears vs. Bulls for posting that link in the chat. I posted about half an hour ago on X our brand new earnings calendar for next week. Super light on earnings, fairly light in economic data.
Why don't we call it up when you get it?
Yeah, I'll actually pull it up right now. So I think the biggest days are going to be Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday for earnings. Wednesday for economic stuff with Fed Chair Powell. But Thursday here, we have Nike, Micron, FedEx, and Lennar reporting after the bell. So that's like a quadruple trouble. Then we're going to get Accenture, Darden, and Jabil pre-market. Accenture and Darden can both make pretty big moves, so certainly names to watch out for Thursday morning. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we get the FOMC interest rate decision. As of this morning, 99% of participants are not pricing in a cut. Only 1% expecting a cut because, as mentioned, the market did rally, but we had the exact opposite data we wanted from UMich. We wanted lower than expected inflation expectations. We wanted higher than expected consumer sentiment, and what we got was literally inverse of that.
We do have OPEX next week as well. Someone in the chat mentioned there, so we'll take a look and watch out to see what's going on with that. But Nike is going to be an interesting name. I don't know if Bill Ackman's still in this or not, but there was Pershing Square getting involved. We did see some activist movements in Nike, of course, with their new CEO as well at the helm. This name is really pulled back in along with Starbucks. So we'll look at Nike for next week and see if we can get some love back into this sort of, I don't know, beleaguered apparel company, shoe company, sporting goods company, really getting hit. This could be a great buy down here. There's no doubt about that if we decide to hold some of these levels. Some of the Chinese names, FXI, we noticed also upside there today. Oh, no, hold on a second. FXI, I don't know why that's in switch. Yeah, okay, up 3%. So FXI today. The Chinese economy there last night in their market had their best day, I think, of the month or the last couple months. I think the Hang Seng was up 2.8% or something yesterday. I know Fabian was interested in maybe in some FXI. China's really working out, and you actually get that island gap up today. So it's really not, you love these island gaps when they take out highs. So again, a huge move upside. We had Michael Noss talking a little bit about China. And again, we had thought that China was in trouble with this new administration here in the U.S. It's actually the complete opposite. What the MSCI worldwide, let me know what that ETF is. There's an ETF for that. I'm off the top of my head, I can't remember it. But most of the world right now, up year to date. It's just here in the United States, North America, TSX as well, that is down on the year. So most economies, most stock markets, not economies, are up on the year, and that's true for China as right now we're taking everything out. China year to date right here, where is it? Last 20 days, 10%. Year to date, I have no idea where it is. There it is. 24% on the year for China so far. Not too bad. March 25th. Not March 25th, March of 25. Right there. What day is it today anyways? It's the 13th, 14th? Me and Fabian were talking about this, the 14th. Because if it was Friday the 13th, maybe we wouldn't have had such a green day. Okay, today's day was brought to you by QBTS, Quantum Wow. We've seen this great earnings name really fell through over the last couple weeks, but really got a nice little kick right there the last couple days. Better than expected earnings, a good guide forward, and it also helps when you have a 35% short float. QBTS, man, to the moon there right now. We were asked earlier, will this take out highs? I said no, but yes, I'm changing my mind now. This will take, I was talking about today. I think on Monday, we definitely watch out for that 1050 area. Congratulations to all of you on that front. I know our guest coming up, Andrew Rader's been talking about some robotics, obviously quantum as well, sort of in that same basket as we look for some new trades. It's not about what's happened, it's about what's going to happen. So there goes quantum names. We traded Rigetti at the end of the day. What a banger that was there. And if you look at the end of the day, let's go over to a 5-minute chart. We went long at $11 on that break for Rigetti. Good little level there. As you can see, though, fading off just a little bit at the end of the day there. Rigetti pulling back, but we had this trade, man, all day right there, going out at 11:30 at the top side for RGTI. We busted this through 11, man. We went long right there into the hour of power and rode it pretty much all the way to the upside. That was a good trade for sure. I mean, I don't see anything red today. There probably is a red sector. Let me just call up some of the hot stocks and then we'll call on Andrew.
Communications was rough earlier today, but it might have recovered.
Yeah, I don't know. There it is. Consumer non-durables today possibly as a downside. Coke, Coke, Nike, Mondelez. Again, there's my guys, Hershey. Hershey there down 1% today. We could talk to Andrew about Hershey.
I have some news here on Tesla.
You have some news on Tesla.
Yeah.
Apple, Nvidia up as well. What's the news on Tesla?
Well, apparently Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla are lobbying Trump's trade representative on tariffs. So we heard a report last night. I know you went short yesterday when you heard that report about Tesla and tariffs. Tesla basically trying to use a little bit of its force and pressure to get some reconsideration here on tariffs. They know that they're going to be hurt regardless with these tariffs, specifically if there's reciprocal tariffs from other countries. So they basically went to Trump and they were like, hey, or I guess reportedly they went to the administration. They were like, "Hey, be aware. We're going to be hit by this too." So we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But that being reported now twice.
All right. Thanks, Adair. Yeah, not much movement here in the after hours for Tesla. All right. If my man is ready, I mean, I see him in the green room looking handsomer than ever. I mean, the more this guy matures, the more, the better looking this guy gets. It's Raider Trader. It's Trader Talk. And he's super smart. Let's bring him on. Andrew, you probably don't need too much help in the dating area, but there we go. I just gave you a nice little intro right there. We are glad to have you on, my friend, one more time. What a week, man. What a week. I mean, the volatility was there all week. VIX spiking, VIX coming back in, obviously, today as well. How was your week, and how are you doing, my friend?
It was an awesome week. Lots of things to talk about between the Trader TV fam and myself. But it was awesome. I got to drive my car today. So, first time in a while since the brutally cold weather. It went from down coats 2 weeks ago to now sunny and 70s. So, yeah,
it's gorgeous here. We're supposed to have a great weekend here. I think, 70s all weekend. It's supposed to be a little rainy right there. So you keep the car in the garage all winter and then you just bring it out here, joyride a little bit, spring, summertime?
Since I travel so much, I don't have a garage. So I pay my sweet old neighbor $50 a month.
Oh, that's sweet.
she has an extra garage stall. So yeah.
Nice. You talked about, the put-call ratio. I did want to talk, I don't have any notes on what we want to talk about today, so the floor is going to be open to you. But how has that changed at all this week? Is it making you, giving you any other ideas? The Raider report is absolutely fantastic. I want to make sure everybody understands that and definitely goes and checks you out. All on the side at the bottom there, we do have all of your information. The Raider report. I don't know what's in it this week. I'm not sure what's going on, but have you looked at the put-call ratio at all? How has that changed? Any opinions?
Yeah, so when we talk about, trading markets and timing, ultimately one of the hardest things about trading anything is timing. And I say this all the time, but a lot of you watching right now are great with direction. You know what bullish price action looks like. You know what weakness looks like. But the big question is it the right time? And that's what a lot of traders mess up, and that's really the big question. And so when we look for things, we want to be conscientious of that and try to find things that help better time the markets. And one of the best things that can help us time the markets is things like the put to call ratio. Now, a lot of you guys don't know necessarily, maybe you do know what it is or not. The put to call ratio shows, and if you want to just share my screen real quick, it shows basically, how many puts to calls are being opened in the market. And
Andrew, you're not sharing yours, yeah.
I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, wait. Here we go.
How dare you? We can give you a second. We'll come back here.
How dare you? Right here. Boom.
Okay, perfect. Let's go. There it is. We got it now.
Okay. So right here is the put to call ratio. And a lot of you guys, maybe you're like, why do I care about options? Why do I need to know options? Options are literally in 2025, the order book. They are the liquidity providing instrument to the markets. And in 2025, they cause significant market movements. So specifically with the put to call ratio, what it just basically does is the higher it is, the more puts you're seeing opened in the market. And the problem with that is, as much as retail want to say that's bearish, it actually causes inverse reactions, because what happens is, when all the market participants are buying all these puts, the delta hedging to the dealer is he's selling all these puts to the public, and therefore he has to be balanced. And how does he go balance that? He goes and he shorts shares. Now, you might look at that and go, well, doesn't that mean short? No, because on any little price action increase, those puts lose value. And ultimately, he's going to have to start buying back those shares because he needs less hedges. And as that kind of snowballs, you see a very rapid response up. So this is typically how one of the best ways to find capitulation or liquidations in the market. You can see just yesterday, we spiked back towards that 0.9. We hadn't seen that since the previous reading on March 4th, which also marked a bigger bottom to trade. And so leading in from yesterday and today, I swung some calls. Very nice trade. But of course, moving forward, there's some guidance from the seasonal markets as to what's likely to happen. Now, we are going into a major options expiration. Quad witching, everyone knows it, March 21st. And as we approach that date, you are going to have a lot of movement in the market because market makers and dealers, they're going to have to start balancing ahead of possibly over $6 trillion in derivatives expiring on March. So how do they do that? Well, they're going to have to really open up the floor, juice volatility. In most cases, they'll try to drop it right before and then rally it after following the puts expiring. But right now, current seasonal data, which you can see has almost been followed to the T. If you look at this red line right here, this is the current price action of this year. And if you look at the expectations of the seasonals, you can see almost 1-for-1 to the day they've been following those seasonal expectations for post-election years. So one of the best future-looking indicators, if you will, is seasonals. Be looking towards that to develop your theses. I've certainly been doing that. March 11th, I told you guys last week, was the start of Max Payne. That was a date that you needed to pay attention to as the market dynamics were going to change. And sure enough, if you look at the SPY chart, on March 11th, we set the bottoming cycle, if you will. So that's very important.
Yeah, you nailed that. I was actually just looking at the SPY chart as well, March 11th, the beginning of this week. Nice move to the downside. I was just saying, we just covered up Wednesday and Thursday today. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Maybe a bull trap here today based on what you are giving us. You have a big expiration next Friday. Bullish into next week. Are you swinging some of those calls or did you cover those today? Are you holding a little piece into next week or anything?
Yeah, they didn't actually pay that much today. Remember that, we're kind of in an environment where you need really big moves to be paid.
Right.
And even Nvidia, I swung from the lows of this week and I only made 120%. And that sounds like a lot to maybe someone not familiar with options. but it's not. You had a 6% move,
right,
and you only made 120%. So that's crazy movements. But what I would say is that, yes, I believe that there will be some sort of bear trap next week, maybe a Monday gap down, something like that. I don't think that we're going to just straight up rocket. It is possible. I've been trying to call a bottom, if you will, for a while, but I do think that it's necessary that you see a more significant volatility spike. Because right now, in case you guys didn't know, I have a little headline right here if you want to show this. This right here, maybe Adara or someone else covered it through the week, but this headline was pretty big this week, is hedge funds such as Citadel, Millennium, the guys that are playing the real market maker roles, they're really having to deleverage their positions. And this is a historic moment. A lot of you guys need to take note of this, is because this is unusual that you see these big firms taking such big losses. Now, they're not going to disclose this, how big of their losses are, but they're certainly disclosing kind of that they're having to deleverage and things like that. And so this is, a symptom of what we've had. We've had this 10% drop in the market from high to low. It's hard to believe we've gone down almost 10%, over 10% now, which is half of a quote-unquote bear market. But during this time, you really haven't seen the VIX go over 30, which is quite unusual. And the reason for that is, of course, if you've seen the headlines and things like that, is Trump's been very informative. Everyone's knowing what the administration is trying to do. They're trying to force the economy down. They're being very open with what they're trying to do. And therefore, the volatility is not spiking because everyone's anticipating this. And so that actually causes a lot more pain for these bigger institutions, because they expect, they were positioned for a high volatility spike to the downside. And since they all shorted, their puts aren't really gaining as much value as they thought. And so the way they position, they're actually taking a huge loss on the way down. So this is historic. And it marks, if you're a long-term investor, this is actually very healthy for you. So I wouldn't be very worried if you are a long-term investor, because having deleveraging like this in the market is very important to giving you more upside potential in the future.
Yeah, Citadel last year did $9.7 billion in trading revenue. So we're not going to cry river for Ken Griffin and so on and so forth. But great point there. I actually didn't realize that there was that mass liquidation happening at some of the hedge funds. So again, I think you're right. With this volatility that's out there right now, it's the selling of options, gathering that premium, because it just is that expensive. And, I know you mentioned 120%. That's generally a decent level, but as you explained before, options have zero value, right? If they expire out of the money and you're wrong, then you need to make up for that 100%. Right. So I do understand that. To me, it's like, wow, 100% seems a lot, but great explanation there. You need to make a little bit more than that, especially in this environment, right? So. And
especially just to, you guys have seen even Sean and Neil do it, that on the show, if you've seen Sean, I'd be worried for his, his marriage, because, well, he's in love with TQQQ. And, if you're a trader during markets like this, one of the best ways to position in markets is, because options and this huge volatility, you're going to be paying so much from the option side. I mean, just for the same move that you can expect, you're needing twice as much price action, or twice as much of a big move to make the same amount as you were 3 weeks ago. So what Sean and Neil do great on here as well is, if you're trading equity or options during these expensive times when it's very hard to trade things that are cheap, go look at those derivatives like TQQQ or SQQQ. Find some cheaper alternatives to gain exposure to the markets to trade. But yeah, that's a great one.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Andrew. Good to see you again here on the show. Are there any particular sectors that you're going to be looking at as of right now, especially given, we'll have a lot of volatility. We also have potentially IWM on watch with the meeting next week. So any specific, ETFs or sector-wide moves you're looking at, any specific plays that you might be avoiding right now after the selling this week?
Yeah, 100%. So basically the textbook methodology to playing a market bottom, quote unquote, if we do expect one into or post March 21st, is really, this is the playbook. If you look at my screen right now, I drew a beautiful color-coded example. You can't get this wrong. And so right here, I marked phase 1 and phase 2. The phase 1 is always your first trade in a market bottom needs to be the lagging sectors, the sectors that are most beaten down. What were those sectors? It was things like Nvidia. It was things like solars. And if you actually go look at these guys, these were my biggest trades of the last 2 weeks. Solars, they were extremely beaten down. And one name that we talked about, ENPH, these guys got the biggest rally. Now, they're considered the leader now. They're going to be a later phase. But especially Nvidia, if you look at Nvidia, this was beaten down. It is rallying much more than the overall market. So phase 1 of a market bottom, you're always going to be playing the laggers because they get the most aggressive rotation. However, As you get that initial pump, they often get faded really quick off that bottom. And so if we do expect another liquidation move, these should get hit hardest, Nvidia, all these other guys. But the leaders, the ones that did not sell off initially as much, are going to be that big trend continuation trade. And I believe that's going to be the trade into April and May. Looking at the trend leaders, things like that, a very simple way of doing that is comparing the performance of sectors and industries from today. And then you could probably take it from the SPY and just do a simple, time frame analysis. Who's been leading since February 21st, which was the last OPEX. So take a custom date range from the 21st to now and see who has been leading, who has not sold off as much, and that's going to be your April and May trade.
You have talked a couple times about that, right? Grab those laggers. And again, next time you're on the show, don't spend so much time on graphics, man. I mean, I know you're a busy guy. I don't want you to put too much work or detail into that. I'm like squinting. What exactly is he doing over there? But all right, we don't talk too often with you. You talk about great market data there, TLTs, bond yield, banks, things like that. Are you looking at crypto at all? I mean, Bitcoin's down over 30% or roughly 30% from that 109 down into 83,000. I mean, I have it marked out right here as 109,588 as the high, and we're just pulling back. To me, it looks like we're basing out. I'm just a simpleton right here. It looks like we've been, hovering around and trying to hold this 76, 77 level with that wick bottom back there on the worst day of the week, Tuesday. We made that bottom, and now it looks like we're trying to bounce a little bit higher there. I'm a little nervous because the Bitcoin reserve really didn't give us the bump and the hold that I thought it would. Any thoughts here about Bitcoin? Are you leaving it alone right now and just focusing on some of the seasonalities that you were talking about in the equities, or are you looking at Bitcoin as a potential move higher as well?
Yeah, I think if you're looking for something like Bitcoin, especially in the short-term or long-term cryptos, one of the best ways to play this is actually probably keep your focus on the smaller cap ones. The problem with the Bitcoin, and this was a huge trade even when I was in the show in October. This was the October bottom for Halloween. We talked about how crypto was going to be one of the bigger trades of the year. Now that we've gotten that run up, you guys have to understand the run up into Trump's inauguration all the way up into November, that was pricing in a lot of what he's already announced. So we knew there was going to be something with the Bitcoin reserve. We knew there was going to be some integration of government. But this is a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. And so right now you're in a very overcrowded trade. You're likely to see no meaningful new moves for the next few months. I would say if you wanted to short crypto or have some bigger position to the downside, you should definitely wait till August or September. I would not be peddling it now. I think the long trade would be the better one. But overall, I wouldn't expect anything eventful from crypto for the next few months.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there. We'll see if the crypto winter extends throughout the summertime there right now. We have a question from someone in the chat. It is Never Always Ever wants to know, do you ever trade zero expiry options, 0-day options? And if you do, are there any strategies that you use? Or are you more looking at, again, I don't know, holding over certain periods of time? Do you ever trade 0-day expiry options?
I do, but I would say that the only days that I do them are typically Fridays. Fridays are typically big vol movers. Thursdays or Fridays. And really what the strategy would be is again, it goes back to timing that whenever I do have some sort of position, I won't put number one big size on it. I'm not going to risk 20%, 10%, even 5% of my week on a same day option. But when it comes to, trying to gamble and things like that, occasionally I will throw on a 0DTE. And there's a very simple strategy for it that you guys can kind of follow. Now, I wouldn't advise you trade 0DTEs. It's often better just to get the next day, the Monday expiration, so you can actually swing it over the weekend. But one of the best things is 11:30 on Fridays, which is Euro close EST, 11:30 EST. So do the conversion for your time frame or time zone. You can actually see a big pivot in the market. And when you get to these expirations, Friday expirations in particular, after 11:30, you typically see a big trend shift one way or the other. And that is because as you get closer, around 11:30 is when you start to see these options really start working in the theta, the Greek thief, they call it, start to really chip away at the contract. So 11:30 is typically a pivot where you can get a nice move into the close. I don't trade the morning sessions for Friday 0DTs.
Yeah, I've actually looked at, because over here at Real Trading, we have over 60 markets, and we used to actually do something very, very similar to that, play the momentum into the closing auctions there of European markets, and then, get a feel for those, and then that can generally lead the way. We have a 99% chance of no cut next week, so I guess you're expecting that. I mean, we sort of went over, we didn't talk too much about Fed. We're more interested, as you are as well, on those expirations next Friday. I think that's going to be huge. Tons of volume coming in on those quarterly rebalances. So I don't think you're not positioned at all around the Fed at all, are you? Because right now it's okay.
I would expect some sort of downside move, though, some sort of cooling off of this. But I would not sit here and say that the market's going to keep going down. It's going to keep crashing. I think majority of the downside has presented itself, at least for the next 2 or 3 months. And while that's not a go rage bait to long, you guys have to be very careful in how you time things. But I think it should be pretty easy if you do.
I think you often say very smart things, but one of the best things I heard from you today is exactly what you talked about with Bitcoin, and that is most of the moves in the market, no matter what stock you're talking about, and especially when we're talking about indexes, a lot of that is baked in. A lot of traders understand, like next week we got a quantum part of Nvidia, we got a quantum conference next week, and what a surprise today, Rigetti up 25%, D-Wave, IonQ all up 20+%. So I think traders definitely need to take that in consideration, that many of these moves that you see leading up to events can often be sell-off events when those actually happen. So I think that was awesome that you mentioned that, and a great call as Bitcoin already pumped even before. We saw Donald Trump, as soon as he got in, boom to the upside. So of course, when we announce what's expected, like that reserve, it's not a nothing burger, but it may not give us that juice that we were all looking for. Okay, there's only 1 more minute left. I have a very, very simple question for you. Got any plans this weekend?
I got plans this weekend. In fact, I have a lot of soccer games. Now, I'm going to Miami this summer.
Oh, yeah.
For a very top secret mission. And I'm going to miss a lot of soccer because in Miami, I'm going to be there in an apartment by myself. And so I'm going to be working on a very top secret project, which someday I will talk about. But as far as what I'm going to do there, I'm going to miss a lot of soccer. So I've signed up with my brother 3 soccer leagues where I play Thursday, Saturday, and Sundays every single week. I'm going to be a professional soccer player. And not really, but I am also going to be the sponsor of our soccer team. So I've got Raider Report jerseys cooked up.
Sweet.
They look fire. I might send a few your way.
Yes.
So we might have to get some T-shirt sizes.
For sure. Congratulations there. Has that been a passion of yours growing up, was soccer? We never actually talked too much about this before. So you're just a soccer player. What kind of level do you play at? And honestly, I wouldn't surprise me if you were, quite the great soccer player there.
Now, no self-glaze, but I was pretty good at soccer growing up. I played my entire life. I didn't play collegiately due to the Raider Report and trading and the things I got into professionally. But my schedule didn't permit it. But as far as soccer, I've always had a deep passion for it. Football, whichever one. Hey, I got maybe some English blokes in here.
Yeah,
so we might have to say that. But I absolutely love soccer. I've gone to Europe before, seen Premier League games. I absolutely love it.
Center back, or where do you play?
I normally play defensive mid, so I am a defender. As skinny as I look, as white as I look, I'm actually a demon in the back line.
As white as you look. All right, it's Raider Trader. Well, hey, congratulations again. And that's awesome that you're sponsoring the team, man. Keep doing that. I will be digging in to find out about that secret mission, my guy. That you said Miami, so I wonder if you're producing for Rick Ross or something right there. I know you're producing for Neil as well.
Maybach music.
Yeah, Maybach music, exactly. Get that all black, everything. So, all right, thank you so much. Andrew Raider again, have a great weekend, and you're always welcome back on Trader TV Live. Thanks again. Ciao.
Thank you.
Oh, you had a plant. Wait, hold on. Put the plant back on. There it is. And he is a man of horticulture.
He's a horticulturalist.
Horticulturalist. Is that right? Probably not. Okay. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on again and again. Like all those ideas, go find him at the Raider Report. We don't get anything off of that. That's all completely his. Really great guy, super smart, with lots of different ideas. If you feel like you trade similarly to him, you're looking at options. The seasonality stuff. I mean, he's one.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. And again, he stands by what he believes in, and we really like it. So thank you, Adara, again, for everything that you've done all week. It's been definitely a busy one. Thank you, Andre, as he's getting out of here as well. Have a great weekend, Andre. Shout out to Ramin, who keeps on ringing this bell here, and Fabian. We got a lot of work to do, apparently. They've got some. What do you guys got to do now? Oh, they're updating all the system, so we may not be live on Monday if these updates. Is it a CrowdStrike update? One of those things where all of a sudden the whole thing is shut down?
Hopefully not.
Who knows?
Ramin says she wishes that it was a CrowdStrike update.
Why? So then we don't have anything to do on Monday. Thank you so much for joining us all day today. Thank you for all those super chats, man. We all got a little bit of a drink there. That was really nice to do that. So thank you to everybody for all of that. It's Ramin, it's Fabian, it's Brendan, it's Joe, it's Sharif, it's Neil, it's Andre, we just said. It's Bears versus Bulls. And more importantly, thank you to Andrew Rader for coming through. Thank you to Michael Noss for coming through today. And thank you to all of you for watching. So absolutely fantastic day. All right, so this is a bowl of Chinese food because that's what we're having tonight. And then this is
some vegetables.
a chow mein. Oh, vegetables. Okay, we like the vegetables right there. Thank you. So yeah, I was going to say some noodles, some chow mein.
Vegetables to put in the noodles.
Don't listen to them. You could say vegetables. They are just haters. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Ciao.